Welcome back to the channel, everyone. You okay, Cecil? Talk about timing. What's happening, everyone? Davey, Deathray here. We've got our buddy Cecil Laird from the Horror Show channel, and we are simulcasting a stream out of nowhere. Cecil, how are you doing tonight?
I am doing very well, except for having a cough attack.
That's okay. You know that I can just talk. So if you need to cough, I will talk. Guys, so I hadn't planned on going live. A couple buddies were live earlier today. Usually I just try to leave weekends kind of just open, you know, let the big dogs have at it. I go live all the friggin' time anyways. You guys know that. So wasn't planning anything, and Cecil reaches out and is like, hey, do you want to hop on a stream or something? And I'm like, not really.
I was like, is this your day off?
Yeah, like it kind of, and then I'm like, you know, it's tough to say no to you, Cecil. You know, if you guys are new to the channel, or maybe there's some people watching over there on the Horror Show channel who are like, I've seen this guy, but I don't know who the heck he is. I've just been doing this thing for a couple years, and when I first got started, Cecil completely took me under his wing and, you know, let me be involved with the Horror Show channel, and now I'm an official team member. So when Cecil comes calling, you know, I can't say no. And guys, this is just going to be kind of just like a random, I don't even know what we're going to talk about. I asked Cecil, like, what do you want to talk about? He's like, I don't know. So this will be great for, you know, all of you guys that are used to hanging out here on the Davey Deathray channel. You know, I love when you guys sort of get to direct the conversation. So we have a couple things we'll hit on, you know, some of the more recent kind of horror news, and probably talk about the movies past, present, and future for this year. But yeah, we've got what else do we have? A poll up in the chat right now, so you can vote on the horror icon that you think deserves their big screen revival next. Freddy Krueger is killing it with 50% of 18 votes, and that doesn't come as any surprise to me. I'm sure that's good news, or happy news for you as well, Cecil.
Sorry,
so what do you think? You want Freddy to come back to the big screen, or you don't want it unless you can be the one to do it?
Do I? Which one coming back to the big screen? Apologies, I coughed right when
Freddy is.
Yeah,
Freddy is winning the poll here.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, and well deserved, to be honest with you. I mean, I really do think that Freddy would you know, be the most popular slasher were he around right now. You know, like it's really funny because we kind of take little subtle jabs at one another regarding Michael Myers and Freddy, and
sure.
And you know, unfortunately, I don't have a ton that I'm able to say because Jason and Freddy have been pretty much quiet until recently for Jason. Ooh.
Sure.
But yeah, it's so like it's tough to like. Of course, I feel like Freddy would be killing it right now because I've always felt like he's the most unique and most interesting of the slashers. You know, with the most fun sort of modus operandi, right? And
yeah,
and so there's no reason why, as long as they do it well. If they do another 2010, then you know we're in trouble, and Freddy would be in trouble for a long time if they went that route. But I think it's pretty plain that by now we've now entered into a new era, because the last Freddy and the last Jason were about the same time, just 1 year apart, and you know, now we're finally getting some quality Jason coming our way in Crystal Lake. It looks like, anyway. I would not necessarily say that we've got quality coming our way from the JU, but still, you know, I feel like we're past the point where someone would do a Freddy thing that didn't know what they were doing. You know what I mean? I feel like anyone that they get would at least have some sort of idea of how to do it right, or the way it should be done, so to speak. So I think that's a good thing at least. But yeah, I mean, until that happens, they are largely sort of out of the public eye, unfortunately.
Yeah. Well, you know, we have 20 votes so far. 45% of people are saying Freddy Krueger. A bulk of the rest of the votes are going for Jason. The other options are Pinhead and Chucky. Now, I know we did kind of get that Hellraiser revival, but I don't believe that went to any theaters. I think that was just a Hulu thing, if I'm correct. And I think it's been a while since Chucky's gone to the big screen as well, because weren't the last two movies kind of a direct-to-video sort of thing, and then the TV show?
They were indeed. Well, the Curse and Cult were direct to DVD. Direct to DVD. Technically, they weren't direct to streaming. They were a little bit before that. But then we got 3 years of a Chucky TV series. But all indications, while we were waiting for word about whether or not there would be a 4th Chucky season, all indications were that Don Mancini was already working on a new movie. So I believe that we're going to get more Chucky news perhaps sooner than anyone anticipates, because I think personally they're already working on a new movie. And they just decided that, when the studio was like, no, we're not going to continue the show, they're like, okay, fine, we'll just lean into the movie stuff again. So I do believe that Chucky is going to be back in the theaters before Freddy and Jason both will be, for sure.
Yeah, I would imagine so. I think that's one of the nice things about kind of having the rights consolidated. That's one thing that we're really learning about these characters as they get to be 30, 40, and 50 years old. So yeah, that's what we got going on in the poll. If you guys are jumping in there, feel free to participate. Also, make sure you like the stream, whether you're watching over here on Davey Deathray or if you're watching on the Horror Show channel. Like the stream, hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Share the channels with someone who you think would dig this kind of content. We've got the links for the Horror Show and all of that good stuff down in the description below, as well as Cecil's film from 2023, right? Dylan's New Nightmare. Which, if you're a Freddy fan and you haven't seen that movie, you absolutely have to watch that amazing fan film. And before we really get going here, Cecil, I want to jump in and just say what's up to everyone, or else I will totally forget. So here we go. We got Chester Franklin Jr. in the chat. What's happening, Chester? Ashton Luck is kicking it with us. King Matthew the Third can't hang, but he's stopping in to say what's up. I appreciate that every time, King Matthew. Thank you. We got Amanda in the chat. How you doing, miss? Great to see ya. We got Brett from Good Real Hunting, one of our amazing channel members, and Death Squad mods. How you doing, Brett? Always a pleasure. Brett's got a channel called Chills and Thrills that's exclusively watch parties. So if you guys are fans of watch parties, check out Chills and Thrills. It's thematic, once a week, Saturday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. So it's a nice, regular kind of thing he's got going over there. We got Paula Fitzhenry in the house. What's happening, Paula? Adrian James. Oh, what's happening, Adrian? Sorry, I clicked a little too quick there. Gory Tiger. How you doing, Gory? Always a pleasure, my guy. And who else do we have up in here? John Doe Juggalo. What's happening, Jeff? Great to see you, buddy. We got Emperor Rama. Am I saying that? Emperor Rama. All right, there we go. I think I said that right. It's funny.
That's what I would do. Yeah.
YouTube is trying something different with the handles, because I think they're trying to, instead of showing your screen name, guys, on certain channels, they're trying the handles only, because it seems like that's where they want to go from here on out is all that. So sometimes I have a tough time reading these. Tyler Adams is in the chat. What's happening, Tyler? One of our great channel members. Hope you are doing well. And let me just make sure. We got Money Kate Olson. What's happening, Money Kate? Little Taylor Swift there. Any weapons talk, and I'll have to mute. Haven't seen it yet. We may veer into that when we talk about 2025 horror, but yeah, for sure. If we end up talking any movies, just be warned for now, we will fully talk spoilers, because now, any movies that we would talk about have been out for at least a couple weeks or so. Thank you for the reminder there, Brett.
We'll give ample warning if we do, though.
We'll let you know, yeah. Nettie P is in the house. What's happening, Nettie P? Great to see ya. Thank you so much for joining us. We got now 27. What's happening? All is well. Hope all is well with you, and thank you so much for checking out the content. I think this might be a new person that found us through the stream last night, where we did that Chucky versus battle with Cody Leach and of course, our guy Mark from Tales from the Shelf. That was a super fun stream. That was I felt for the most part I was on my game, even though when Cody's around, it gets my nerves going a little bit. You know what I mean? We got Brooke Scarlett, one of our great channel members, and Death Squad mods. How are you doing, Brooke? Michael M is in the chat. So great to see you. We got Josh Taylor showing his Freddy Krueger love. Keith Keller is in the house. You guys going to watch Primitive War? None of the normal review podcasts have been reviewing it, I thought it was really good, around 90% positive from fans on review hubs. Cecil, you were talking about this movie. Did you end up going to check it out?
So I was going to, except it's not included in the AMC A-list. So I pay the $20 a month to be able to do A-list, but neither that nor another movie that came out recently was available on A-list. So
there was the TMNT anniversary.
Yeah, which they extended until the 28th. So I'm tempted to still try and see it. But yeah, it's frustrating because I do want to see Primitive War, but I don't know if it's going to be worth the $15 to go see it. I don't know. You tell me, Keith. Is it worth the $15? I am interested to see it, but I also saw that it's like 2 hours and 15 minutes. I'm like,
that's pretty long.
Okay, I mean, Jurassic is about that length nowadays, but and the effects do look good based on the trailers, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I just talked myself into spending the $15 on it. I don't know.
Yeah, I haven't seen much coverage on it, but I did see that Chris Gore from Film Threat checked it out, and they did a review over there. So I'm not sure, Keith, if you're a fan of Film Threat. I do like some of their stuff. It just sort of depends on if I'm interested in the topic or not. But if you like, that kind of content over there, then you can check out some of their thoughts on that channel. I got to meet Chris at H45. He was super nice and gracious with his time. I didn't really know the channel that well at that time. My brother's a huge fan of Film Threat, so he kind of turned me on to it. But Chris was just a super cool guy to hang with and chat with. So let's see who else we got in the chat. We got Fight the Good Fight. What's happening? We got our guy Ben Grimm. How are you doing,
What up,
Ben? So good to see ya. Alex Douthright, weapons or companion? Oh, for me, it's companion. Yeah, for me, it's companion. What do you think, Cecil?
You know what? If I had to just consider which one I would watch again more readily. So here's what I'll say. I think this is going to be another Superman versus Man of Steel thing here for me. In that I loved so many different parts of Superman, but as a whole, Man of Steel was a better Superman movie, even though it totally mischaracterized the character. It was just more clean. So while I think pieces of weapons are better than pieces of companion, I think I enjoy companion as a whole more than I enjoy weapons and would watch it sooner. So
that makes sense. Yes.
It's a very long way to answer your question, but I mean, hey, what's the point of answering if I'm not giving you my thought process, right?
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. The whole thing about this random discussion, and I can expand on my thoughts a little bit too. Yeah, I hear what you're saying, Cecil. I think Zach Kreger's a really gripping visual storyteller. I think he has more interesting looking films than the way that Companion looked. But I think overall, like the story of Companion, I felt was pretty engaging. And the things that I didn't know about the people kind of complained about the trailer sort of giving away the whole thing with Companion. But to me, that wasn't even the fact that she's synthetic. I'm like, there are so many more surprises in that movie where I was like, oh shit, this is like a Predator Terminator kind of combined. Like this is now a very interesting sci-fi kind of deal that was different than what I thought. Whereas Weapons, I was like, oh, it didn't go to the places that or the places it went weren't ultimately satisfying to me.
Yeah, and it was an interesting spin on the whole Terminator thing because it wasn't necessarily that, that as soon as she switched on, so to speak, she became a force of revenge or anything. She was just in survival mode. And her survival necessitated, getting rid of those people in her way along the way. So I thought that was a fresh spin on it. Plus, what's her name? Sophie Thatcher?
Sophie Thatcher? No. Yeah.
Is that? Yeah.
Sophie Thatcher, yeah.
So I think she was really good. I preferred her much more in that than I did in the Hugh Grant movie, although she was good in both. I just thought she was allowed to have more fun in this.
Yes.
So I dug that. And plus I'm a big Jack Quaid fan. So
yeah, in Companion, it's not like easy street for her once she sort of gets a little bit of an upper hand, but it doesn't make it completely easy, even though she is a powerful synthetic.
Just so everyone
Great
knows,
question.
I want to let you know, Davey, when I look down to do the phone, it's to respond to comments on my thing, not because I'm
You're all good. Yeah.
disengaging and responding to texts or anything.
He's jumping into the chat, folks.
I'm
He's
too
jumping
far
into
from
the
my
chat.
keyboard to answer.
Get longer arms. We got Leanna Bevy. We have Leanna Bevy Rage in the house, one of our great channel members and Death Squad mods. And so now that Leanna's up here, really quick, guys, it's been a year since I hopped on that stream with Nick from the Lost River Drive-In and Lee from Drum Dums, where we celebrated 15 years of Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. That was a really awesome night. I kind of took a leap reaching out to those guys. I've been enjoying their channels for years. And I was like, man, I hope they're cool with doing this stream with little old me. And that was the night that I met Leanna and maybe a whole bunch of the rest of you that kind of found your way over here after that stream. So a little bit of a friend-iversary here for Leanna and I. So just wanted to celebrate that a little bit here. And we got the Collector P in the house. What's happening, Collector P? Good evening to you. And let me just make sure, guys, if I miss a question, I'm just trying to say what's up to everyone. Do not hesitate to put your question back in the chat if I miss it. We're not going to get on you or anything like that. We got Erica in the house, one of our great channel members and Death Squad mods. How are you doing, Erica? Yeah, we have a lot of mods over here. For a little bit, it got kind of hairy in the chat. So I like having a good team of mods. Nice. And I love my mods. We just hit 200,000 views here on the Davey Deathray channel. And I thank the mods for keeping things clean during the chats for sure. We got Destiny Faulkner in the house. How you doing, Des? Blu-ray Addict, so good to see ya. Eli Cortez, the man, great pillar of the horror community here on YouTube, and a channel member and a Death Squad mod, like half the people. We got Mark from Tales from the Shelf says just stopping by before bed to say what's up, and Mark drops a $1.99 super chat, and that's right, guys. We got another super chat goal going. Not a requirement to send in super chats, but if you want to and you're able to, then have at it. And if you reach that goal, 10 super chats of $2 or more, I'll do a bonus watch party this coming week. So there you go. And I swear I'm not going to be as verbose as Dave McCrae the entire night. Cody Snyder is in the chat. Death Squad mod channel member. Check. Let's see here. What else do we got going on? Hopefully I'm not missing anyone. I think I'm almost caught up here. If I miss you, I'm so sorry, and we'll say hello later. We got Aaron Click in the house. Gaz, here's some Gaz. Finally watched Kill List, buddy. I'm gonna put together a little short, a YouTube short review of Kill List, and we probably won't talk about it tonight. I want to give it a little more time, and we'll cover it later on this coming week here on Alive. So there we go. We're all caught up with everyone in the chat. Cecil, before we really get cruising here, do you want to, for anyone that's hanging out, that hears me talking about you all the time and saying all these wonderful things about you, and guys, just so you know, I look really big, and then Cecil looks really small. Cecil's like a foot taller than me in real life. Maybe not a foot, but I'm always looking
at the
up.
Background. Like,
yes, the background is
more,
beautiful.
But no one wants to see my ugly mug that close up. You know what I mean?
Oh my goodness!
I'm not pretty like Davey anymore. I've got the gray all over.
Oh, the gray. It's distinguished.
Yeah,
do you want to? Do you want to fill in people on? I mean, the horror show channel's been going on for about 11 years now. You've, you wrote and directed Dylan's New Nightmare. I'm sure a lot of people in the chat have seen that and maybe are connecting the dots like as you're here on screen. But you've also, been writing for these Tremors comics, which is really fucking awesome. Do you just want to kind of catch people up on what you've been doing lately, and maybe if there's something that you're working on that you're willing to share, just give people that as well?
Yeah. I guess I can talk about that because I got some unfortunate news, but not unexpected news with regards to one of the projects. So yes, I've been writing on the Tremors comic. It's up to issue 4 right now. I had one story in issue 3. Like, I jumped on after the first issue came out. I just kind of wormed my way into everything. Once the issue came out, I looked at who was involved, and I contacted someone that posted about it on Facebook. I was like, hey, you guys still looking for writers or anything like that? And because of Dylan's New Nightmare, they let me give it a try. And so I have a story in issue 3 and then 3 short stories in 4 because it's an anthology comic. So there's a few stories every episode or every issue. And so because of that, I started working with one of the other writers, and I pitched, because the rights holders, Stampede Entertainment, got the rights to Tremors back. Well, they got the rights to their original script, Beneath Perfection, back, and so they're writing a new movie, and they're trying to make it so that they can have Kevin Bacon back involved and everything, because he's expressed a lot of interest and even did that pilot for the would-be show that never ended up happening a few years back. But because of that, I approached the writer, my co-writer, and I said, "Hey, would you be interested in writing a new Tremors movie with me?" Because we have access to Stampede Entertainment because of the comic. The guy that runs the comic has met them at a couple of different conventions and has told them about the comic, and they have given their unofficial blessing for us to do it. So we decided to write a spec script that would be a legacy sequel, set obviously 35 years after the original, where Graboids return for the first time in 35 years. And we created a new protagonist team that's, it's 2 FBI agents, and the lead ends up being the daughter of Heather Gummer, who had moved on from Bert and had the daughter with her next husband. And it's a really cool story, and unfortunately Stampede was unable to read it, because it's one of those things. It's the same reason I can't read Freddy ideas that people send me, because if I end up doing something similar to one of their ideas, I'm opening myself up to lawsuits. So they can't read our stuff in case anything in the script is similar to an idea they had, and they would be worried that we'd come after them for it. So what we're trying to decide to do is whether we're going to turn it into a graphic novel, a 4-issue comic book series, or whether we're going to do something interesting and release it as sort of a special book, because we also have a pitch deck for it. And we called it Beyond Perfection, because it's about the Graboids escaping Perfection Valley. And since the original script was Beneath Perfection, we thought it was a clever, title continuation. Yeah. And so the other thing it might be is we might just put together like a fun script book where it's the script and the pitch deck, and we maybe sell those at conventions or through the website or something like that, just like we'd sell the comics. So we're not sure exactly. Sorry, Robert.
Robert, the Wolf fan in the chat.
That was something. The script came out amazing, if I do say so myself. I came up with 2 things. I feel like I added 2 things to the Freddy, mythos overall, with the Dreamcatcher and the sushi pieces. I feel like I added 2 things to the overall Tremors lore. And it's a really great story, and so I'm excited for everyone to be able to read it in one fashion or another. That is something that I've been working on. We were keeping it under wraps just in case Stampede was willing to read it, and just in case it was something that could become official. But since it's not, I can talk about at least a little bit of it. Other than that, I also finished writing a new fan film recently. It came to 69 pages. Nice. But I don't know if I want to reveal the subject matter yet. There is a hint to the subject matter somewhere on this set, I will say that. But yeah, it's a new fan film, and the person that I want to star in it is going to be reading it in the next, hopefully within the next week, to give me their thoughts. I don't know if it's something I'll be doing soon, because I'd rather focus on something of mine, my slasher that I've been trying to get going. But yeah, so that's the stuff I've been working on most recently outside of the channel. I focus a lot of my energy on those creative endeavors as opposed to like doing really complicated movie review editing. So anyone that might come over to the horror show, our movie reviews are more video podcasty. than
Sure.
slick editing kind of things. That's not to say there isn't that kind of stuff on the channel. There definitely is. And if you want to check out the horror show, what I would recommend is checking out our best of the channel playlist. I try and put what I consider the best episodes on there, the best examples of what we can do. My favorite video on the channel is, I think, the top 5 horror video games that need to be made into movies. I like went deep on the editing on that one. So there is that stuff on there. A lot of horror comedy shorts that I'm pretty proud of are on there. So if you're interested, check that stuff out. But yeah, that's a very, very, very long-winded answer to your question, Davey. That's kind of what
I love it. I love it. And just real quick thing, so with the Tremors script, it sounds like kind of just, since it's like unsolicited material, they can't read it, right? If they reached out to you and were like, we want this thing from you, then of course they would read it. But since it's coming to them without them initiating that contact, is that really the issue there?
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. They want, they wrote the first one, so of course it's like if my slasher, if I made my slasher and then 30 years later someone else came to me with an idea for it, I'd be like, well, no, it's mine. It's mine. I'll do that. Thank you. I'll do that.
Yes. Yeah.
And I understand that. Like, I do. Yeah. I just thought, I try and take on the Kevin Smith idea of have a reasonable degree of unreasonability. And so it's not necessarily reasonable to think they'd read it, but there was a small, tiny % chance that they might have. Because we work on the comic, you know what I mean? Like, that we had more of an in than anyone else out there just handing them a random script. So, again, like you said, you shoot your shot where you can. I mean, that's why Dylan's New Nightmare got made, is because I shot my shot with Nico. So
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, there is another. Yeah, sorry. I was gonna say there is another big film project that I'm in the works on pitching. That is going to be a documentary. Actually, that is going to be a full-length documentary that I don't want to dive into yet, but that we are in the process of building a pitch deck for that as well. And that's something that wouldn't cost a lot of money to make because the subject matter already happens, so to speak. So yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about. That's something I know about, right? Okay, cool. Awesome. I won't say anything. I'll keep it. Heck yeah. Yeah, and I think with shooting your shot, it's one of those things too. I mean, even like you're saying, like there's going to be a way for you to tell that story. So it's not like the work that you put into the script it's not all for naught just because it's not going to be turned into a film. There's still something to do with it. And then, hey, you never know what can happen once it's in that form of media. It's a lot easier for other things to come from that as well.
Well, and again, we can always do a table read on the channel of it too,
Oh yeah, absolutely. I know a guy that's got a voice that could be used for some sort of thing at some point, even if
actually I have an idea who you could be. So yeah,
perfect. I love it. We got Koi in the chat. Happy Sanjo, and he's dropped a membership chat. He's been a member for 10 months, guys. We've got a few people that have been members for a year. It blows my mind, and then we've got some people round in the corner on that. So way too cool. Welcome on in, Koi. And let me see here if there's anything else. Just following up with you. Michael M says the comedy shorts on the channel are fun. Hell yeah. I'll have a lot of fun over there on the horror show channel. And I've read that Tremor script, guys. Really fun stuff. Very it's kind of, it's got the modern kind of stuff that I look for, just sort of a modern spin, something that kind of updates it, something that, like you said, Cecil, like expands the lore, so it's not just a rehash. It is a pretty interesting story, and it also has some of that legacy character oomph that feels really natural. That's the best thing I can say about reading that script, is everything seems nothing seems jarring or seems out of place, or like some corny thing I've seen a million times before. And we have all these legacy sequels now that just do like the Halloween 2018 kind of thing. And, so it's nice to see something fresh in there also. Now, we do have, let me see, I just got to say hi to Jamie Hart. She's the OG Death Squad mod, so I just got to say what's up. We also have Joel from Darkroom Reviews in the house as well. Guys, you're amazing for tuning in. Impromptu stream. We didn't even give anyone a heads up. I didn't say anything other than to the mods. So That just shows to me how amazing you guys are in this entire horror YouTube community, coming from the Horror Show channel and from the Davey Deathray channel. Really appreciate you. And holy cow, a rare live sighting of Lamontre Gillard. How you doing, Lamontre? Great to see you, man. Great to see you. Yeah, I want to dive into, if like at some point here in a little bit, I do want to dive into your slasher, if you're, depending on how comfortable you are with talking about all of that. But I figured before we get back into that stuff, and we could maybe talk about a couple things that have been going on lately in the franchise world of horror.
Sure. Yeah.
The franchises that we all know and love, and you know, one of them that you disparage nonstop. No, I'm just joking. We do like to give each other shit, and I will say this, guys.
I wish I could pull up that picture, that wall.
I like Freddy. It's not that I don't. It's out of the big three, he ranks number 3. I don't think that's that bad of a spot. And I do think that Freddy is the one. He's the one that does need the revival the most, because I think there's a lot of good there. And unfortunately, I think we just got, you know, we didn't get all the good in the first run of the franchise. But
can I just ask, what is it you find more interesting about Michael and Jason? I'm assuming you find more interesting than Freddy.
Well, Jason's just a fun roller coaster ride. It's just like, even the bad movies I can still put on and have a fun time with. The bad nightmare movies feel excruciating to me. Whereas like the lesser movies in Friday the 13th, I'm like, this is just like silly, you know, campy fun, you know.
The creativity of all the dream stuff doesn't factor into it. Freddy's personality
sometimes
really into it.
No, well, the first movie, so I think the way that I rank them is like the first movie, Wes Craven's New Nightmare, Dream Warriors, those are like my top 3. I've been really warming up to part 4. And then I would say like Freddy's Revenge, that like rounds out my top 5, and the others I'm just sort of like on those ones, like, you know, 5 and Freddy's Dead, and Freddy versus Jason was like fun when it came out, but it just hasn't like had a good revisit kind of strength for me. Every time I revisit it, it just feels like I'm stuck in 2001 again. But I'll answer. So with Michael, it really is I'm a sucker for the mystique and the unanswered. I like that about Michael. I like that there's just this, you can't really put your finger on what it is. He just gives me the heebie-jeebies. And he's got, I guess, to me, maybe more of a classic, like, you know, I feel like I could put him alongside, you know, Frankenstein's monster, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, or Dracula a little bit easier than I could put some of those other characters. And I like when Freddy's jokey. I want it to be the dark jokey, which is one of the things I really appreciated about Dylan's New Nightmare, because I like when it's darker and it's not so like him riding on a broomstick and stuff like that.
It's just, I mean, again, Michael, it just always to me is like, it's no different than if a single zombie were after you. You just have to like walk a little bit faster than him and you're okay. Like, and there's so like the sameness of the Friday the 13th and the Halloween franchise, in as much as it's just silent killer kills teens. Like, I feel like the uniqueness and the creativity of, you know, having to at least come up with dream scenarios for them to die in, instead of just, you know, they're in the bathroom, you know, and they get killed, or they're in their bedroom and someone comes out of a closet after them, or, you know, fucking whatever it is. Someone's at the back of their van and they get impaled from behind by someone. Like, I just don't understand how that is preferable to the creativity involved in the Nightmare or even the Child's Play series. I guess I'm different, but I don't know.
There's something about Michael too, for me, that like, especially, you know, strictly speaking about the first film, every time I rewatch it, you know, I probably watch it a couple times a year, it just seems a little more like, it seems scarier to me and maybe a little more realistic. I'm like, this is the way that a lot of like actual serial killers kind of operate, like the waiting to strike, waiting for the right moment to strike, you know, that kind of thing. So I think there's just something that feels, I don't know, it just hits me on that level. Plus I adore, and especially in the first film, I love the mask, the way it looks different in every shot. It's almost like its own sort of like Rorschach kind of thing, and you apply your own. Yeah. Oh yeah. The way it's lit in each shot of that original film, I think it almost looks different in every shot because of the lighting and the placement of it all.
Yeah, it's a different perspective. But
yeah, but and it really does have I think there is something different that I see every time. So I think there's something about the fear that like the audience member can place on Michael, me specifically. It just works for me more. Whereas like I think Freddy's really fun and all that. I even when I was a kid, I was never really scared. But I mean, I will give you the creativity on the kills is like that's what you go there for. I feel the same way kind of about the Final Destination franchise. Like it's more about the setup of the kills than it is about like the character development and all that kind of stuff. And but I think that there's the biggest opportunity with Freddy to bring him back and have it be something really awesome.
Jamie,
I will say that.
Jamie, you're gonna love my slasher if I get to make it. I'll tell you that much, because it's a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and it's people are gonna fucking fall in love with it. If I get to make it, you guys, I like, this is going to sound so big-headed, but I've told you about it, Davey, and I've talked to everyone on the channel about it, and more people that want to help make it, and people that have raised funds for other movies that want to help raise funds for this because of the uniqueness. Like, I really do feel like if I get to make this, that my slasher would become maybe not as popular as Art the Clown, because he's got the whole killer clown thing, which is just always massive. But I do feel like my slasher would be one that would stand the test of time and would be desired for sequels and stuff like that. So, yeah, I definitely understand. But there's definitely some jigsaw kind of elements involved with my thing. But yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. There was another thing that I wanted to address in your chat with Chester Franklin. He said Nick Castle is returning for the game. So when we get to the game, I want to remember that point. Halloween.
Yeah, let's I'm just gonna cover these super chats that came in. Erica throws down $5 to show support and love to the channel, and she really wants a watch party. So yeah, guys, if we reach that goal, I'm gonna put a poll out there for all of you. I'll pick 4 movies and have you guys decide which movie that would be for a watch party. I think that could be really fun. I thought most people were kind of down on watch parties, and then I stopped doing them, and now it's something that people want. So I dig that. And then Tyler is right there with you. Drops $4.99 and says, Freddy is leaps above Michael and Jason. The personality, the story, and the creativity of every Nightmare on Elm Street does it for me. I can't argue with that. I know what my preference is, and sometimes it's tough to really define these things like the way and it could just be that that's the first slasher villain that I really fell in love with, that I'm always going to kind of lean that way. So, and again, it's not any, you guys know that I'm pretty fair here. It's not any disrespect to Freddy. I think the big three are the big three for a good fucking reason. And I don't think anyone's going to edge those guys out because they came along and they solidified and defined that era. Chucky was at the tail end, and then people want to put Scream on the Mount Rushmore, and that's cool because there's 4 spots on Mount Rushmore. I just don't think any of those characters are going to edge out the three because they are the forefathers for sure. And thank you guys so much for the super chat.
I think it's funny because the first slasher I fell in love with was Bruce.
Oh, Bruce the Shark, yeah.
Yep, you got it.
Yeah, yep. I guess so. If you think that's an interesting conversation, because I always think of, and I'm always like, I'm never going to argue with somebody if they say Jaws is a horror. I think Jaws is so much more. I think you can definitely call it a horror. Like, I don't think of it as just a horror movie, but it is. It has these slasher elements, and it does have, you do feel that there is, even though they don't use the personal line until Jaws the Revenge, you do feel like at the end of the movie, it's like this thing is like not letting them go and attacks them when they're trying to relax. So it does feel like there is some personality there, maybe even more than Michael. Talk about that, Cecil, because I know it's my favorite movie and it's your favorite movie as well. So no matter what we think about Michael or Freddy, we can always come together and share a big old sloppy kiss over Jaws. So talk to me a little bit about that.
Agreed. Yeah, no. And it's funny too. Just to your other point, I am very loose with my use of the term horror because I feel like it's so, comedy can be in anything. comedy can be in horror, comedy can be in drama, comedy, you know, there's dramedies, there's horror comedies. There's no reason horror can't be like, I consider, for those that aren't familiar with the channel, I consider like Ernest Scared Stupid family horror. You know, like to me, there's a whole category of family horror, or, you know, kids horror. You know, Night of the Zoopocalypse. My some kids in my house watched that last night. A Clive Barker joint, but they loved it, and it's okay for kids like 8 and up, and like, but that's dark, that's horror for kids. So I'm very loose with that. Regarding Jaws, though, like, yeah, I mean, it's a slasher. It's picking off people, and it has to be taken out at the end. It's just like any other slasher that's ever come before it or after. I mean, technically, it's before Michael. It's only after Leatherface, technically. But
Leatherface and Billy.
Yeah, exactly. Billy as well, yeah. But and technically Pazuzu, right? If you want to call, you know, demon slashers in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, I mean, Bruce the Shark, to me, I'd put him on Mount Rushmore, because I adore all of those movies, and it was literally, like you said, a forefather of an entire subgenre of horror. You know, the Edie creature horror is what I like to call it. You know, it's real life creature horror. Like, I love creature movies. That's my favorite subgenre overall. And that's just, I just call them Edie creatures, because like shark movies, alligator movies, piranha movies, all of that shit, you know, bear movies, you know, it's just Edie creature movies.
The amount of imitators that Jaws had is right up there, and same as all the human slasher characters had all those imitators in the 80s, all those one-offs. One of those movies, I think it's called Claws, was shot in my hometown of Juneau, Alaska. I think that's the one that was shot there, and it's so fun. I watched it on YouTube years ago with my family. It's so funny to see Juneau in like the late 70s, like probably, or, you know, 8 years before my family moved there. It looks so, it's a place that's stuck back in time anyways. It's always a little bit behind the times, and it's so funny to see it that long ago. You know, I think I've always thought of Jaws as, I think that's what got me initially, like, kind of opened the door, a good gateway horror for a kid, because I was like 5 when I watched that movie, and it made me fall in love with sharks.
Yeah, Jaws 2 was the first horror movie I ever saw, because I walked in on it in my parents' room when they were like packing for a trip or something. Like, they were just in and out of their closets and stuff, and I just kind of, you know, teeter-tottered in or whatever the fuck, because it must have been early 80s. And it was right at the part where Chief Brody is in the little boat, and he's got the electric cord, like the end of the movie where it's, and like this giant shark comes up and chomps it and gets fried, and I'm just this little kid going, oh, and like I was like, holy shit. And then after that, I think I went back and I like eventually was exposed to the original Jaws, and there was just no going back from there. I studied sharks growing up. Like, I know all there is to know about a great white shark, from its anatomy to its behaviors, because I absolutely loved it. Same with megalodons, because I started reading the Meg books when the first one came out in '97, and I got every single one as they came out. And so like, I love that shit. So
and Jaws too, even more of a slasher, because it's got that kind of, I don't know, there's something, it reminds me of Friday the 13th Part 2, especially there's that bar scene where for some reason all these teenagers are in a bar in Jaws 2, but it reminds me so much of the bar scene from Friday the 13th Part 2, and then it's just got that, you know, that cruise culture on the water kind of vibe. It's a really, I think it's such a strong sequel, and man, Jeannot Swark, who I believe just passed away within the last 6 months to a year or so, does a really good approximation of what like a very close to Spielberg kind of sequel there. And of course, having John Williams come back like really helps you retain that, but it has a look that feels like it belongs right with the first movie, whereas I don't think you can say that about the other two sequels.
As I think about it right now, I might say that there are more singularly, for a kid, right, and even for adults possibly, I feel it's nowhere near as well made of a movie, right? Well constructed or anything. However, I would dare say that there are more thrilling shark moments in Jaws 2 than there were in Jaws 1. For instance, I love when it attacks the chopper. As dumb as it is, like that's fucked up. I absolutely love when it rips through what the hell do you call those sailboats with the trampoline in the center? I love when
the catamaran.
That. Yeah, the catamaran. I love when it rips through that. I will never forget, and that the first, I because it was Jaws 2, I remember seeing so young. One moment that always freaked me out is when it literally when it flips that one sailboat, and like everyone's trying to clamber back up onto the upside down part of it, and she gets Sean up, but the shark just comes up, and you just see her get enveloped by him from behind. But they sell it because they chomp, like they make the shark move crunch. Like it's the crunch, and it moves like the jaws are crunching. Yeah, like it's actually swallowing her. And then there's another shot where it when it comes up, it's kind of silly in retrospect because it pulls the rubber back on the shark a bit. But when it comes up and almost gets the person and like rubs along the side of the boat, that part was thrilling as hell. And she gets her leg out of the way just in time. And then I think the initial attack when it kills the dude in the sailboat and his girlfriend's left over, and her utterly piercing scream of shark.
Yes.
Like there's so many thrilling moments in 2. I really don't feel like it gets enough credit, truly.
No, it doesn't. And yeah, it's when they're like Michael gets knocked out by part of the sail, and they're pulling Michael Brody up, and they kind of drop him, and they get, and you do see a little mechanics of the shark, but there's something so beautiful about the way that worked out. I even like I think one of my so it's beautiful, and I love the even at the after the gala where they open up the hotel and everything. And everyone's like been partying and talking. The camera just meanders over to the ocean, and you just see, it's like twilight, and you just see that fin come up and head towards Amity. There's something like so beautiful about that shot. And I think that Jeannot Swark, for a guy that mostly did like TV in his directing career, I think that's one of the most difficult jobs, to follow up Spielberg and to do something that looks like passable as you could believe that Spielberg did it, although I know it would have been more epic with Spielberg, but it has that same look. Verna Fields is there editing, that probably helps as well. There's just most of that team was still there. Jaws 2, I think I got a lot of love for that one for sure. A really good. It's the best shark movie that isn't Jaws. I can't think of another one. So
I got a real soft spot for The Shallows. I'll be honest with you. I adore The Shallows. I think that is the best modern shark movie, period. End of story.
That's one I still need to see. I haven't seen that one, and I haven't seen 47 Meters Down.
Those are the two best ones. Yeah, those are the two best ones. I really enjoy I think it was called Bait. That one was really neat, where a town gets flooded, and it's a group of people stuck in a grocery store that gets flooded with great white sharks stalking them and stuff. That was a fun one. The Reef was another good one along the way. Fuego and I, a few years back, did a whole for Shark Week, we did a new review of a shark movie every week, and like I went to the effort of like putting us on green screen and putting us in a cage underwater doing the reviews and stuff.
Nice.
So we covered a lot of them, but I adore The Shallows. I loved 47 Meters Down. I actually quite like what was it, the sequel that was in the caves? I thought that was really good too. Like, I just love well-made shark horror. I thought the recent one, Dangerous Animals, was a lot of fun.
Oh, that was really, yeah.
Except for the stupid bit at the end where the shark recognizes her trauma and lets her live.
Dangerous Animals probably could have been a little shorter because there was a little repetition issues going on there. But yes, I did quite enjoy it and felt like it was something that was, it was fresh in that whole sphere for sure. And
Ashton's also right. Deep Blue Sea is also an utter classic.
Deep Blue Sea is pretty fun. Yeah, it reminds me of like Aliens, but with sharks.
Tyler said Under Paris. Sorry, Davey. I'm
no, you're all good. You're all good.
Talking tonight. Under Paris is a phenomenal recent fucking shark movie for sure.
Where's that one? Where did that one go? I'm trying to look for it. Hot take: Spielberg is incredible. That's a good one. I don't see that one from Tyler. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I need to watch Shallows and Under Paris one and Dangerous Animals. Yeah. I need to see Under Paris as well. Haven't seen that one.
Sorry,
real
Keith,
quick
I didn't consider that when I kind of spoiled Dangerous Animals a little bit. Sorry. I mean, Davey did say at the beginning we were going to spoil anything we talked about, but still, I should have given you a warning. Apologies, Keith. Sorry about that.
It's still going to be worth the tension in the movie. It's still worth watching that movie. Yeah. We got Pat, that Halloween movie collector here hanging out. He's one of our great channel members. And then I wanted to grab Gaz Hearsome dropped a New Zealand $3.49 most anticipated movie is I Am Legend 2. Has that been announced? Is that coming out at some point?
I've heard that was in the works. I don't know if I heard that it actually went into production. I know that there was some pre-production talks going on. I don't know if it actually moved forward or not.
Okay. I enjoyed the first one for what it was. I don't know if it was part of the ending that got a little hokey for me, just with some of the CG and stuff. But yeah, a good old Will Smith summer blockbuster. It's been a while since we've had one of those.
One of the saddest moments in any horror movie. When we did a panel. Also on the channel, if you haven't checked it out, we've done a lot of panels at conventions. And we have a whole playlist of our panels. We've done Stephen King panels. We've done supernatural panels. We've done a lot of different panels, but one of them, I just spaced why I brought up the panels. What were you just saying that put me down that road?
Saddest moments in horror.
Right. We did a saddest moments in horror panel, and that the dog moment in I Am Legend is absolutely one of them, because that.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. I love that. Like, when I've thought about the moment that I die, if I have any choice over the time and what I can have happen, obviously surrounded by family, but what song would you want playing as you pass on? I've thought about two songs. My favorite song of all time is What a Wonderful World by, the original singer. I can't remember.
Louis Armstrong.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. My favorite song of all time. Beautiful, and just a reminder of why humanity and the world is as beautiful a place as it is. But the other one is every little thing's gonna be all right by Bob Marley, which is literally what he's singing as he has to put his dog down. And so that utterly wrecked me, that moment, because of that specifically.
That is a crushing moment. Yeah, there's some, and it's for him to sort of, he's acting alone in a lot of that movie, or acting with the dog in a lot of that movie, and there's some really good emotional moments there. It's been a while since I've seen that one. Tyler Adams drops a $1.99 and says, Davey and Cecil Jaws watch along.
We did a commentary on the channel, but I'm always down to watch Jaws. I have the 4K, so
yeah, we could do that. Really, we're just passing the 50th anniversary. I did one over on Flet's channel, but it wasn't, streamed over here or anything, so I don't have.
Or we could do a first watch of The Shallows for you.
There we go. We could do something like that. There we go. Hell yeah. Ben says, oh, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. I keep stepping on your dick.
It's your world, Cecil. I'm just living in it,
Keith said, go check out the trailer for Beast of War. I do want to watch that trailer. So it's a new shark movie where it's, I think, shark in World War II, but apparently they use an animatronic shark, and it looks dope as fuck. So I do want to watch that trailer, Keith. Anyway, sorry, I'll shut up now, Davey.
Beast of War. All right, I'll have to look that up. We it Double Feature Podcast in the house. I'm guessing that's Mika. Welcome on in, Mika. Thank you so much for joining us. Guys, it came up in one of the streams where Mika hopped in maybe just a few days ago. We've reached out. We got the communication going. We are, working on getting Mika and Kira on the show for a late night with the Davey here in spooky season. So that is in the works, just to let everyone know. And if Eli's still hanging out, or one of the mods can drop the link for Double Feature Podcast in the chat, that would be great. Go give them a sub. They, I really like what they do over there. It's different than, what I do and what I see other people doing. They've got a unique spin on what they're doing over there, and they highlight some things within film and within horror that that I just don't see all over the place. So I love seeing that unique take over there. Let's see here. What else do we got? I mean, I could talk about Jaws all friggin' day. Ben, that's what it was. Ben said that it's his Jaws 4 is his second favorite Christmas-based shark movie, right behind Santa Jaws. I will say this about Jaws: The Revenge. If the whole movie took place in Amity and we got to live in that Christmassy world of Amity, I think it would be a lot better remembered and probably a lot better enjoyed.
There's a lot less people on the water during Christmas in that part of the world.
That's true, but they're making it personal, right? Ellen Brody goes and hunts down the shark. The first like 10 minutes of Jaws: The Revenge I enjoy, and the rest of it I just don't know what to think.
I love that movie.
I mean, I still watch it. I'm terrible. I'm a creature of habit. I watch the bad movies of the franchises I love, and I think Jaws 3 is the worst one out of all of them. Jaws
it is. It is. We did a reaction roundup recently, and I'm really excited to watch the movie that they're working on. It's apparently aimed for 2027, where it's Jaws Goes to the Bahamas, where it's a making of documentary about Jaws 4, and I'm so excited about that.
I'm looking forward to that too. Lance Guest is in there and everything, so it's gonna be fun stuff. Let's see here. It got brought up. Was it Chester Franklin Jr. that brought it up? Nick Castle returning as the Shape. Now, I've covered some of the news here, and I know you have as well, Cecil. And the rumor was that it was Kane Hodder because he gave an interview where he talked about working on a gun game. He didn't specify what it was. When I was covering it, I was like, well, it's been reported or people have said that this is Kane Hodder, which would be cool for Kane because he's played Jason. He was Leatherface in the TCM3 trailer, and then he was Freddy's arm in Jason Goes to Hell. So that would have he would have had 4 of the big ones. But we just got confirmation yesterday that it is Nick Castle himself playing the Shape in the video game. Cecil, I know you're a big modern gamer. What do you think about everything that we know about this Halloween game? Are you interested in playing it? What are your thoughts on we got confirmed that there's going to be a single player mode, so it looks like even if online support goes by the wayside, there's still going to be a game to play. What do you think about all of that? And as somebody that's not as jazzed on Michael as I am, what do you think about Nick Castle coming back and playing the Shape?
So lots to unpack there. First off, I'm always down for more horror licensed video games, obviously, but they have to be the right kind of thing, and they have to have the right kind of love put into them. What I was concerned about with it initially, as soon as because no one knew that it was being made until they dropped the trailer, which, let's be honest, that's the way to fucking do it, because now all
Jason
of a sudden
Universe.
Exactly, because now everyone's got to wait 3 years for your shit. If it happens, and you've already wasted all of your goodwill way up front. So first off, they did that right. Second off, the Donald Pleasant's voiceover is pretty bad. It's not really great. They could have definitely found someone closer. The biggest concern I had, though, was that it was going to be another asymmetrical horror game, just like Dead by Daylight, just like Friday the 13th, just like Texas Chainsaw, just like Killer Clowns from Outer Space. Literally, there's so many of them now, and it's so frustrating because I don't like to play online multiplayer games because, quite frankly, I don't have the time to get good. You know what I mean? I'm an adult. I have a full life and a family and everything. So I don't like to get on and lose, and especially if it's the same thing over and over and over again. It's repetitive, like solitaire. So I'm a much more single player story driven gamer anyway. Now, when I saw that they're adding a single player experience to this, I raised my hairy eyebrow because when I did the trailer reaction on the channel, I went to the website and saw that it was it still takes place in all the fucking same areas that the multiplayer shit happens. So I'm guessing it's just that you have to go from A to B and not get killed. which is very basic and not that interesting. So I'm hoping that there's a lot more depth to it than I am guessing there's going to be. What I would have really been excited for is what Hellraiser's doing, which, you know, they're doing a first-person story-driven adventure game that is set in hell, you know, and you got to escape. No multiplayer bullshit to be had. So yeah, that's my initial thoughts on the Halloween game. I'll still try it, but only the single player. I just couldn't care less about the multiplayer. Now, the Nick Castle of it all, here's my thoughts. I'm of two minds. My first inclination is, did you see the recent movie where like Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci and a few other guys played themselves over the course of their lives? Like their 70-year-old selves right now played like 30, 40-year-old versions of themselves, but they just...
The Irishman?
Right.
I did not see it, but I've seen some of those clips and everything. I know that movie's like 3.5 hours long. Scorsese's really pushing my runtime.
The thing is, yeah, the tolerance level. When they're playing those young versions of themselves, you can tell that it's a 70-year-old guy moving, you know, underneath the skin of the 40-year-old facade. You know what I mean? Like they don't move the same. So Nick Castle is not going to move the same as he did fucking 50 years ago. You know what I mean? And luckily, this is where my other mind comes in. It's a fucking walking wall. Like there's not a whole lot of stretching and bending involved with being Michael Myers. You know what I mean? So like he probably can do it without missing a step, so to speak. Normally, I'd say this is a really bad idea, but simply because it's Michael Myers, I think it'll be fine.
Yeah, I think I totally get you right there. And I think there's something about, it's one of these weird things. It's like, there's just something, Nick just has some kind of secret sauce when it comes to playing the Shape. I don't know what it is. I don't think that everyone that played the Shape other than him is terrible at it. There's something about the way he does it that's just like, I don't know. It's like a musical artist that whenever somebody covers their song, it just doesn't quite feel right. There might be a couple, you know, artists like that where it's really tough to replicate it. And I think there is just something about, you know, Nick's, the simplicity of it all that Nick seems to get, or that maybe is just ingrained in our heads from that first movie. So yeah, I think that, you know, if it weren't going to be Nick, then I would have wanted James Jude Courtney, because I think that he's the closest thing to giving me that feel, you know, in the David Gordon Green movies. But I think it's one of those cool things too, that's like to see these guys, you know, Kane got to do it for the Friday the 13th game, to see these guys be able to have some longevity with these characters, whereas we wouldn't want to see them on film necessarily portraying the characters for a full-length feature. It is cool to see them step into there and have it, you know, and have that be brought to the fans. You know, even like somebody like Robert, who has said he's not going to play Freddy anymore in a live action film. Well, I don't know. What if the technology gets better and better and you can do a mocap suit and you can blah, blah, you know, or what if he comes back in a video game or some other sort of media to where you still could get a Robert performance as Freddy in some sort of way? Would be really cool. And I feel that way with Nick. And he's just Nick Castle is an interesting guy, you know, directed The Last Starfighter, directed Major Pain, you know, gigantic hit with Damon Wayans, Major Pain, and was this close to directing Hook. Like he was the one that developed Hook, and at the last minute the studio was like, sorry Nick, like we got this all ready to go, but like Steven Spielberg came in and said he wants to do it, so we're gonna let Spielberg do it. And so one of those like kind of where would have Nick's career gone if he had been the one to direct Hook? Even though it wasn't too well received at the time, it's, you know, grown a lot as far as fanfare goes, you know, in the last 20 or 30 years. So yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, I thought it was great too. You know, I enjoyed that whole thing. So yeah, I think with the Halloween game, it'll be interesting. Is single player only going to be from the victim or final girl standpoint, or is there going to be a single player where you get to play as Michael? I saw they just released a couple maps, so it looks like maybe Smith's Grove is going to be a playable area, which we didn't really get to see too much in the first film.
And how is that any different than the multiplayer when you're playing as the killer? Like
Yeah.
your
It would just be a
victims run
different
from
story.
A to B instead of like it's it's like I don't know.
It would be a different story. I would imagine they're probably going to give Michael some like abilities the way they did with Jason in the Friday the 13th game. You know, that maybe Michael will have, when you're playing as Michael, you can do something like almost invisibility and then appear like right behind somebody in a hallway, or you know what I mean? Like kind of play into the way he is in that first film. But I think if the film is the game is a hit, then we are going to get DLC. We may get new characters to where they could at least go into Halloween 2, and we could, you know, sort of switch things up in that regard. And I think a really cool thing about the Halloween video game that I didn't really think about, I can't remember, somebody had brought it up to me or I saw it somewhere. You know, there's a whole generation of kids that love playing video games. They might not know anything about Halloween, really. Maybe their parents aren't fans of the films. Maybe they're too young to see any of the movies. And this is a great way to introduce this character and that world of the original 1978 film to a whole new audience, you know? And
I think it'd be fun to add an ability for any of the survivors that if Michael's getting really close, you can like hit a button and you summon a Tina Williams shield where you just hold her in front of you and she just gets stabbed and stabbed. You just run and take off.
Big Papa Musk, one of our great channel members, says, I love Halloween, but I feel it'll be very short-lived. I think that's the way a lot of people are talking about this. They think it's going to go the way of TCM and Friday the 13th, but really IllFonic are taking the lead on this one. So I don't think we're going to see the yanking off of servers like TCM, and then we don't have the rights issues like we had with Friday the 13th. You know, I think that's one of the benefits of the Halloween franchise is, you know, the rights are consolidated. You know, Malik takes care of everything, and I wouldn't be surprised if there's some sort of agreement that they're not going to jerk the fans around as far as the servers go and all that stuff. I don't know. I'm just sort of postulating because of how serious Malik takes all of this stuff and the fact that they want to keep themselves like, you know, separate from the pack in that regard because of all the, you know, the way we see people talking about the Jason universe and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's kind of a mess the way they're doing it. And I think Malik wants to make sure that Halloween doesn't come off as a mess, even if it's just a walking wall.
Well, so to Tyler's point here, he makes a comment, Nightmare on Elm Street is ripe for a video game adaptation, especially VR. I don't know about the VR of it all, but I definitely think a Nightmare video game would be amazing, especially in the era where, like, in the Batman Arkham Asylum game, like, you switched into that reality with the Scarecrow, right, for the level where he's giant and going after you and you got to hide from him and shit. Like, having those levels, right, like in between the storytelling levels, like even if it's like Springwood, open world Springwood, where you like go and investigate, sort of like a updated version of the old Nightmare and Friday the 13th games, where you can like explore the campsite and everything, like there's a map, like, but have that be Springwood, and you go and you have to uncover the truth about Freddy by piecing things together and going and getting pieces of the history here and there, and then when you go to, you have to like go to sleep at night to get your energy back for the next day, and when you do, it transports you into these dream levels where you have to avoid Freddy and stay alive and trick him and like set traps up and shit. Like, that would be so fucking cool if they did that. Like, man, that'd be magical. But again, we're running into the rights issues. The other reason, and again, I think that is just, it speaks again to the point, Davey, that I'm trying to make as to why Freddy is more valuable as a slasher than Michael and Jason, because a Freddy game would be way more interesting if they really did it right. Also, if you were to talk about which slasher would be best to put on Broadway, which is a strange question, yes, but an interesting one if you think about it, it's going to be Freddy, because all of the set pieces of the dream sequences would be fucking incredible. And like, it just would be so much more interesting than different locations and Michael hiding behind different bushes on stage. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so, but to that, what I'm saying, like, overall, I feel like that makes Freddy a stronger slasher because his stuff is more interesting across different mediums when you think about it along those lines.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising, you know, given that we just haven't really seen that much media with him, you know, because I mean, I even have like, I don't know what, years ago I was like, I thought, yeah, it would be a musical of Freddy would be great. I even like started writing a song in my head. I was like, every town has an Elm Street. Every child has a dream. Every kid needs a monster. Could that nightmare be me? Like, like that just popped in my head. I'm like, that would be amazing. Like, this would be incredible.
Have Alice
Super
Cooper do it. He's
cheesy.
already in the movies. Like, just bring
There you
Alice
go.
back. The fucking.
But yeah, it would be, my vocal performance aside, I think it would be really fun to do something like that for sure. Holy cow, we got Lee from Drum Drums in the chat. What's happening, Lee?
We were
my brother from Hit the Bricks.
Yeah, he decided to go impromptu live today also. So I think we were rivals there for a few minutes. Unless he might still be going. I don't know.
Hopefully it went well for you, Lee, and hopefully you're having a great night. I know it's late out there on the East Coast, so you are burning the midnight oil there. We got Brad Hawk Talk joining us as well. Jumped on in from the Cody Leach stream as also. Thank you so much. Really appreciate everyone that's new and the folks that have been here for years. Sorry, go ahead, Cecil.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah, Lee, the one of the guests on your hit show, Hit the Bricks.
Yeah, one of my guests. Yeah,
exactly.
Oh my goodness, yeah. I messaged those guys earlier. I was like, thank you so much for letting me tag along and be dragged by your coattails, guys.
Someone commented earlier in your stream, like, this is the first time I'm seeing Davey on his own channel. He's been popping up everywhere else recently.
I try to stay active. I do. I try to stay active. I want to make this dream a real thing. So I know it takes a lot of work. And honestly, I really enjoy it, guys. I enjoy interacting with the people in the community, whether they're content creators or the folks in the chat. So I get a kick out of it. Absolutely. Let's see here. We've been going for about an hour 15. We've got some good stuff going here. We've talked about the Halloween video game. I think it would be cool to go from there into... we've kind of touched on it here a little bit. I mean,
what's Crystal Lake?
Well, you had mentioned it earlier because it sounds like you're excited for Crystal Lake.
Check your spelling. Check your spelling.
Oh no, it's Crystal Lake.
Crystal Lake.
My spelling is absolutely perfect. Never mess that up. It's because you make me so nervous, Cecil. Still get the jitters after all these years. Still crazy after all these years. Crystal Lake. It sounds like you're pumped for this one, or more excited anyways than you are with Sweet Revenge. For sure. Just real quick, Rondo asked, how about that other Carpenter game, since we just finished the Halloween game? There's a first-person shooter monster game that is John Carpenter's something Commando. I think it's not Bionic Commando, but Toxic Commando. That's cool. What it is. It's Toxic Commando. It looks cool. Like, it's giant monsters versus you. I don't know if it looks like maybe a multiplayer shooter game, which I'm way more fine with than like the asymmetrical horror bullshit. Because that goes back to the Borderlands. I love the Borderlands games. So being able to play and take down big threats with your friends is a lot of fun for me. So I'm actually quite excited about it. When I did the reaction to the Halloween game, I also reacted to that trailer, as well as the Jurassic Park behind the scenes trailer for that Jurassic Park survival game. So if you're interested, go check out my reaction over on the channel. You'll see, if you're on Davey's channel and you haven't seen Toxic Commando, go check out my reaction on the channel to the Halloween trailer and Toxic Commando, and you'll see exactly what it is. Anyway, sorry. The link is in the description below as well, guys, so you guys can find the Horror Show channel through there if you're watching over here.
Yeah, and so to your question, I am quite excited about Crystal Lake, only because it's going to be official. I was more excited about it when Brian Fuller was involved, because Hannibal is one of the best things I've ever watched. I absolutely love that show, and so he killed it there. I feel like he could have really done a great job with this too, but apparently it wasn't quite Jason-y slashery enough for the was it A24 that said that, of all people, which is really surprising. So I've heard rumblings, unfortunately, that the direction they're taking is worrisome for a lot of people, especially big Jason fans that I'm very good friends with.
I was there for some of those conversations. I started to get worried too because I was like, oh, I was so excited, and now I'm hearing this from this person I really trust.
yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I'm still happy that it's happening. Unfortunately, if it is a big failure, that is going to set the movement back once again. It always happens with this shit. Chucky was actually I'm sure Chucky was actually quite instrumental in helping get Crystal Lake greenlit, to be honest with you, because that was a successful ass show. And that was on Sci-Fi or whatever the fuck, whatever channel it was. So I'm going to give it a try, and I'm open-minded to Crystal Lake. I do think there's a lot of fertile ground to mine with Mrs. Voorhees. I mean, she was the killer for the first movie, and there's a lot you can do with that. Obviously, I think the biggest example of why this could work is the second season of Castle Rock that tells the story of the Misery Lady, right? Annie Wilkes. Yeah. So I thought that worked fantastically as an origin story to the character from Misery. And so there's no reason why this can't be a fantastic multi-episode origin story for the character from the first Friday the 13th character, from the Friday the 13th movie. She's also truly the impetus as to why Jason continues to kill movie after movie after movie after movie. So it makes sense to give her the weight of an entire series so that it, now we all, like, it's the same thing as, I never watched it, but I heard great things about Bates Motel, right? Everyone cares so much more about the mom character now that Bates Motel happened, and it recontextualizes Psycho with all that in mind. So I feel like this has an opportunity to sort of achieve the same thing. Sweet Revenge, on the other hand, is a big steaming pile of dog shit. I feel like Ian Malcolm said it best. That is one big pile of shit. I did a reaction with Robert on the channel. If you guys want to see that, that's on the channel as well. You see my reaction live, which is not good. I do not enjoy it, and I utterly hate that I told Vince, I was like, they have the single worst shot in any Jason movie, in any Jason anything ever, and it's that shot where he looks like a fucking toddler in the back, in the background, and like the girl
during the face off,
the undead chick is in the foreground, and he looks like a fucking toddler. They don't know how to frame Jason to make him look fucking scary. I'm like, and these are the guys in charge of the movie and the game. They don't even know how to frame him to look scary. Like, and they're bending all of the rules. They're like creating their own revenant lore. And it's like, it doesn't even make sense. It like picks and chooses and doesn't follow through. And like, why? And like, I hated almost every single thing about it. The only thing that I liked was the gore. I thought it was actually clever to have the body parts hanging up on a clothesline. I was like, ooh, that's cool and creepy. Like, it's a little more wrong turn than Jason, but I'm still down with it, and then like, I liked the boat motor stuff. It was, I feel like that could have even been done just a tiny bit more better, but it was still great. The thing that bummed me out a little bit was the apple core thing. Like, I was like, oh, as he grabbed the apple core and he was going to put it on the cheek, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And then they never do the wound up to make it look like it was the fucking apple core thing. It's like 2 slashes. I'm like, what are we doing? Like, you have a cool idea and then you just abandon it or don't follow through on it. That's like the whole thing. I quite hated it.
Yeah, the whole piece was just something that just is, if they don't wrap it up, if they don't conclude it, then it really is just a waste of time. So, and it's not to say it would be great if they conclude it, but it would be. I mean,
I'm not going to come down on anyone that doesn't finish a story that they start in a short film, but I'm not going to say that original short film is a waste of time as a result.
But it really, like, right when it's just about to get interesting, it's just like, okay, it's over. Or right when you're about to really see something. But I think the big thing, in Sweet Revenge is the mask is way too big, and that's one of the things making Jason look small. And yes, the way they're shooting him is just not the way to shoot the guy is 6'6" and he looks skinny and small. It's very, very odd. Yeah, I mean, Crystal Lake, I think what I'm really enthused about with Crystal Lake is, you know, they've got the production design and the way that Blairstown has been dressed up and everything. Like, they've got a look that I think is, like, I'm excited about the look, you know, the way the cabins are, and I'm just like, it's all going to come down to that story. So I'm
excited about
hopeful.
the look of everything except Jason himself, which is a pretty
no, I'm talking about Crystal Lake.
Oh,
no,
sorry,
with Crystal Lake.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
Yeah. Sweet Revenge is like, it's just it just looks, I mean, whatever. It's just a greatest
generic
hits
campsite, yeah.
13-minute greatest hits. Yeah. Friday,
sorry,
great.
back to
wish
Crystal
were
Lake.
greatest
Apologies.
hits. But yeah, Crystal Lake, I'm looking forward to that, and I do think it's a great opportunity to like reset the lore, reset the canon, like actually figure some stuff out for Jason moving forward by focusing on Pamela a little bit more and getting that appreciation for that character. So it's something really funny. Like the other night I was showing pictures from the set and everything on a live, and my brother was watching, and there was a van. It was like an Aardvark something van. I couldn't read the rest of it, and I was like, well, that's a modern van, so I wonder what that is. There was a phone number on there. My brother called the phone number. It was a 1-800 number that sounds like it was forwarded to a house in New Jersey or Brooklyn, New York. The people actually picked up, and my brother was like, so I'm watching this thing, and they're like, are you guys working on a movie or a TV show? And they're like, yeah, we're working on a TV show. And he's like, what are you providing for them? And it's a Ferris wheel. They rented out a Ferris wheel for the set because there's going to be like a Founders Day celebration. So I just thought it was really funny. My brother called, and the phone got passed around to a couple people, and he was like, they sounded really excited that like they might get some attention from this thing. So anyways, just That's a little fun side story there. Yeah, no perfect Jason placement in Sweet Revenge. Yeah, like the perfect nipple placement in the remake. Yeah, Jason Universe, Sweet Revenge. Good God, y'all. And apparently they announce a movie, but I guess that's not really happening. But at least we're getting Crystal Lake, and I hope Crystal Lake is a good story and that it's successful moving forward. I mean, we'll see. We should find out by, I'm thinking February or March next year, because those are our two Friday the 13th. I think there's one in November, but it makes sense for me that they would want to put it out in February or March. Since they're shooting right now.
I thought there was 3 next year, actually.
Yeah,
but,
February, March, and then November.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, I'm guessing early spring next year we'll have a little something from them. Let's see here. We're about hour 23. We're doing pretty good on time. What do you want to hit up next, Cecil? Do you want to do I mean, on our channel, on both of our channels, we talk about the films as they come out. We could dive into like 2025 horror films if you want to talk about maybe some that you're anticipating for the remainder of the year. But if you want to talk about your upcoming or your slasher that you're developing, there was some interest there in the chat. I don't know how much of that you want to share. So I don't know, I don't want to ask you to dive into that if you want to keep it close to the vest.
Well, can I, would you mind terribly carrying things for like 5 minutes while I go take care of something? I got to go.
Oh, for sure.
Say goodnight to the little boy. And
yeah, for sure.
I'll be back on. I'll think about how much I want to say, but if people are interested, then I'll talk about some stuff. I can't give away too much because it's definitely an idea that could get stolen. Although my script is registered with the WGA already. It has been for a decade now. So, I am about to do a rewrite of it, but yeah, okay, I'll get into it when I come back. So
okay,
give me just 2 minutes and I will be back, y'all. I have a little boy to say goodnight to, so I'll be right back.
Dad duty, everyone. All right, let me see. Let me do that. How about that? That's not so bad, right, guys? Hey, look at that. It'll just be us for a few minutes, everyone. Oh, I don't know what to talk about while Cecil's gone, so I'm just going to jump into the chat and hang out with you guys. Let's see what you got here. We got Nolan in the chat. What's happening, Nolan? Watching over there on the Horror Show channel. Guys, whichever stream or channel you're watching right now, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Share the channel. If you're watching after the fact, that's so awesome. Thank you so much. Feel free to drop on into the comments. Let us know your thoughts on any and all of the topics we're discussing here tonight. And let me see. I'm curious to take a look because I know we've got some new people jumping on in. Let's see here. Guys, sub count over here on the Davey Deathray channel, we're at 1,674. You guys have been amazing. The support has been awesome. We are racing towards that 1,700 mark, and I just want to let everyone know, if we hit 2,000 before Halloween, I will dress up as the Alpha from 28 years later and do a stream on Halloween. There you go. You know, whether you like it or not, that's the way it's gonna go. So I'm gonna leave that up to you guys. Do with it what you may, and yeah. Keith says Weapons was great, and so was Sinners. Yeah, man, Sinners was excellent. I dug Weapons. I'm not as hot on Weapons, but I did enjoy it quite a bit. Davey Deathray, hey Davey, how are you doing? Well, I hope. Did I miss some of the chat here? Jay Beach, I'm doing great. I hope you're doing great. And guys, I just want to let you know one thing that I'm trying to remember to talk about every week or every time I jump online with you guys. I'm just pulling up my app that tracks my sobriety journey. I'm almost at 18 days with no alcohol. So that's really cool. That's why I'm jazzed up and probably sound sometimes like I've got a rocket in my ass over here. So yeah, 18 days, feeling good. Big Papa Must says or asks, Davey, is 28 years later in your top 10 horror movies of the year? Top 10? I don't think so, but maybe, because I'm like, have I even seen 10? What are all the 10 horror movies this year? So there's been Wolfman, Sinners, Bring Her Back, Final Destination Bloodlines, Dangerous Animals, Weapons Together. I saw The Ritual, which is going to be dead last or not in the top 10. What else was there? Was there something else I missed? I saw Strange Harvest. That wasn't good. Maybe 28 years later is in the top 10. It might be number 10, Big Papa Musk. I didn't enjoy it very much. Ultimately, I really enjoyed the first half, and then I was like, oh no, this movie seems like it doesn't have 3 acts. It seems like it only has 2, and they're banking on the next 2 movies in the trilogy to finish the story. But I still think that every film should be a 3-part story, and I don't think we really got those 3 parts from 28 years later. I thought some of the editing was a little distracting, especially when we cut to like scenes of archers out of nowhere and stuff like that. Just didn't really seem like it fit the movie. So I'm pretty lukewarm on that one. Yeah, Tyler, there is movement going on with my Dead Winter story, which is my Alaskan zombie project. So my brother, who works in 3D map painting, and he works in like Unreal Engine, so it goes even beyond the painting and building like full 3D environments and everything. He's taking some classes, and I'm working on the story and the script. So there's some movement there. What I want to do with that story is I want to create it as like a graphic novel. A physical version would be great. I might go with like a digital kind of thing for starters. And who knows, at the point where that thing is all written and figured out, then maybe I start looking into Indiegogo. Maybe I reach out to Vincent DeSanti and see if he can give me some pointers. Or, if I'm really fortunate and I've got something that's, solid and something that is attractive to him, that maybe he would want to help out in a bigger way. I don't know. I haven't really approached that topic with Vin because, for one, I don't have it all figured out. So I don't really have like the full pitch ready, like a rehearsed pitch that I feel confident in, because, he takes his stuff very seriously, and rightly so, because he's really great at what he does. And also, like, we've become friends over the last couple of years and everything like that. But I really want to, I want to make sure that I've got something that's like really ready to kind of hit the ground running, because I don't want it to seem like I'm going in there half cocked. And I also don't want it to seem like I'm, just trying to take advantage of the friendship or anything like that. But there is some movement on there, and thank you for asking, Tyler. I appreciate that. I'm glad I'm not the only one thinking about it. Thank you so much, Keith. Really appreciate you. Aaron says, Davey, I know this is kind of personal, but any wishes to be a dad in the future, or do you like your independence? Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be against it. would not be against it. I guess it just sort of depends on how everything goes. So we'll see. That was certainly something that I've wanted for sure. And then, you know, personal life took some interesting turns. 68 days to hit 2,000 subs. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen, which is why I put it out there that I would dress, that I would not dress for that Halloween stream. Well, I'll get a long wig and I'll put some dirt on my face. And that would be the only things that I'd be able to wear for that stream. Really do appreciate the support, Keith. Thank you so much. JG says, hey, Davey, have you ever considered doing an episode on obscurities that were precursors to Halloween? Movies like Fright, I Saw What You Did, etc. Right for exploration. JG Michael, that sounds like an awesome idea. I have never seen Fright or I Saw What You Did. Is another one, He Knows You're Alone? Is that another one that you would consider something like that? I've heard a little bit about that movie. I'm going to look these up, JG, just so I can I Saw What You Did. Okay, that's a really great idea. And you know, I think the way to approach that, JG, would be for me to do the research on some of these. Hey, you know what, it sounds like you have got a good grip on this idea, so please feel free to hit me up on Twitter, X, whatever you call it, or on Instagram, and shoot me, you know, some of those titles. That way I can check some of that stuff out, and I can do a little bit of research and put together a stream on that topic, because that is something I'd definitely be interested in for sure. Absolutely. Thank you so much. And guys, if you ever have an idea for a stream or something that you want to see me cover on the channel, anything like that, don't hesitate to reach out. I will absolutely, you know, respond. And if it's something that I think I could handle or do, then I'll jump on into it. Manny's Manic Media, one of our great channel members, says the lack of side holes and huge unibrow make the new Jason mask look wider than it is also, I think. Yeah, it looks way too big overall, for sure. Let's see here. Davey, do you want to listen to Pezcore later? Leanna, I kind of have some post-stream plans a little bit, but I listened to it yesterday. Yes, Pezcore by Less Than Jake hit 30 years yesterday. And Out Come the Wolves celebrated 30 years today, the Rancid record and Out Come the Wolves, their third album. And I heard They Suck Live by NoFX is celebrating 30 years as well, my favorite punk rock live record. But Leanna, let me hit you up after the stream. We'll probably go here for another 20-ish minutes or so, guys, just to give you a heads up on that. Cody Leach is in the house. Cody, thank you so much for spending some time with us yesterday on the Chucky sequel battle. And Cody says, just took my youngest to her first concert, Shinedown. And now a long 4-hour drive home. Well, I'm so happy that you can listen to the smooth voice of Davey Deathray while you're driving. And not only that, but it looks like Cecil is back. I'm just going to wait for the thumbs up over there. Okay, excellent. All right, guys, let's go ahead and bring our guy Cecil on back. How's the boy doing?
He's good. He's good. He's down and out for the count. So definitely good as far as that goes. I'm trying to figure out the easiest way to pull up what the hell I've given stars to in Letterboxd, because we're talking about 2025 horror, right, as well?
Yeah, we can jump into that, and then if you want to talk about your slasher project.
Yes. What would you like to do first? Okay, I think I got it.
If you've got your top 10 up, let's just go ahead and hit up the 2025 horror. Let me bring that banner up here.
I don't necessarily have a top 10, but I can tell you the ones that I'm liking the most based on what I'm seeing here. So yeah, I feel like some of them are missing, but because there's some smaller ones that I definitely liked. Just clicked on films. I'm not necessarily the best at remembering to rate everything that I go and see. So I will say the new Final Destination is up there for me. My top one is probably still Sinners as of right now. I love that movie. I feel like the cultural deep dive was fantastic and more than worth the time. Companion was fun. If I had a top 10, it might make that. Weapons would probably make it. I did enjoy that, although not as much as everyone else. I liked the pieces more than the whole, as I mentioned earlier. I'm a big fan of the score. I actually put the score on just yesterday while I was reading some stuff that I'm going to cover on the TikTok channel. So definitely the score is a banger. You know what I actually finally watched? I think this is from this year. Let me double check, unless it's... Yeah. I really liked The Woman in the Yard. I thought that was really, really good. I heard a lot of people they bumped into the ending, but I was a big fan of the whole thing. I really thought they did a great job with the shadow work and making that shit creepy as all fuck. I actually dug the resolution. So yeah, I've got that one down as 4.5 stars. I've got Final Destination as 4.5 stars. I've got Sinner as 5. I almost never give like perfect scores, but that was pretty perfect to me. I have 4.5 stars on The Monkey. I enjoyed the shit out of The Monkey because, again, as a Final Destination fan, that's, you know, and it's just it's silly at times, but in a super entertaining way, you know.
Yeah, the kills are fun.
The pool explosion is just phenomenal and so unexpected. Like, I would be hard pressed to think of a more unexpected, like, smiling laugh that came out of my face when that happened, you know, than that moment. You know, like I can think of one for you, the garbage truck crush in Final Destination. That was incredible.
You were giddy in the theater for like a whole minute after that.
But it wasn't like I saw the setup, and so it was just a matter of seeing how it was executed, right? The pool like was just, she just fucking exploded. Like, it was definitely a more caught me off guard, but I do think I appreciate the non-cutaway aspect of the garbage truck kill more, because that was incredible. Like, that was awesome. Like, the fact that like literally no cutaway, no different angle, like just boom, well done transition to effects. I'm dying to know what Tyler Adams' thoughts on that garbage truck kill is, because when I saw how they achieved it, where essentially the truck was like practically made of, you know, those old toys that are like the pins and you can put your face in it.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
I saw that behind the scenes thing. Yeah.
So that fucking really cool and clever. Yeah. I love that kind of stuff. So I was a big fan of that moment. So yeah, there's that. I wasn't as big a fan of Ugly Stepsister as everyone else is. I thought Death of a Unicorn was just kind of okay, but I loved the design of the unicorns. I wanted to like it a lot more than I did. I quite like The Gorge more than a lot of people apparently did. I'd give that 3.5 to 4 out of 5, just because the production design in The Gorge was incredible. I thought Until Dawn is fun. I don't have the problem. Like, I have problems with Until Dawn. I have that as 3 stars, but I also have Bring Her Back at 3 stars. I wasn't as huge a fan of that because, to me, that was just, you know, a different version of Ma, you know, where it's someone keep, you know, turning on people in a home. Dangerous Animals I have at 3.5. Jurassic World I have at 4. I really enjoyed the new Jurassic World, but I'm a sucker for those movies just because I'm such a big creature feature fan.
Yeah.
Predator Killer of Killers is one of my tops so far of the year. I think that's fantastic. That's kind of my overall.
Together's got to be up there, right?
Absolutely. Together I adored. Did I not actually review that? See, that's the problem. I forget to review movies sometimes. I'd give Together 4.5 or 5 as well.
It's like neck and neck with Sinners for me. I don't know. It's one of those things where I'm like, I know Sinners has the horror back half, but it's not like through and through a horror movie.
Right.
Whereas Together seems to kind of like be a little more of a through and through horror. They're just so close.
But it doesn't have the cultural angle that Sinners does, you know? Like,
it doesn't.
I adored that.
Yeah, and I would say Sinners is like just a more impressively made film. Like, it's got that. It kind of gave me those Tarantino vibes. Like, Kugler
Together was really scarier though, for sure. Together had moments that fucked me up. Like, there was the without spoiling, the bed stuff really got to me. Really, like that, the way they shot that, and like the way it seemed like, I swear to God, they painted the actress like this weird blue, like it so was disturbing and well done, and totally unexpected for the movie that I was anticipating, you know.
Yeah, and the body horror really worked for me in that. I'm a fan of that kind of body horror stuff. Yeah, I'm you know, I haven't seen all of those movies. Like Until Dawn, I need to check up on that one, and Woman in the Yard are two that you mentioned that I haven't seen yet. I saw Wolfman, which wasn't good, but I thought Julia Garner was great.
Yeah, she's great, but I'll take her Silver Surfer. Or
her Silver Surfer is great. Yeah, she's great. She's become my favorite actress as far as performance goes. There's just something about, she sucks me in. It's tractor beam. Yeah, and with weapons, I think one of the things, and I won't talk about it too much because everyone that's hanging out, at least on my channel in the chat, they hear me talk about weapons all the time. I was pretty let down by the third act, ultimately, and then I think like the believability starts to, the more you think about it, the more you're like, wait, like the police really didn't look into this thing further, even though the parents are gone for like a month and the kid goes shopping by himself for a month, and the fact that it just turned into like another kind of old hag trope. I was just sort of like, I've seen this so much, and I felt like the more time we spent with that character, to have the reveal and then to spend so much time with the villain, just kind of sucked some of the mystery and fun out of it for me.
And
ultimately.
again, it's kind of reaches into that same pot that that Ma and the Bring Her Back did, where it's the you know, the creepy old lady kind of thing, you know, like it's and I didn't really appreciate the fucking clown face paint that she, like, I thought the actress did phenomenal, and when I was like, I recognize her face, I don't know from what, and when I found out later that it was the woman from Field of Dreams, the wife, I was like, oh wow. So like, but I hated her look, like that it just, like, yes, it was creepy for like the first shot or two, but when you have to focus on it for an entire scene, it's like it's the same silliness that took me out of it as the swinging titties did in Barbarian. You know what I mean? Like, I can't take that seriously as scary. I'm sorry. It's too dumb.
That's another thing too, is Krueger has done the old hag thing in both of his movies.
Yeah.
So it's already like, okay, now you're very interesting visually. Can you do something different as far as your stories go? Right. And I mean, I guess his next movie is going to be Resident Evil,
which he's already leaning on, saying this is going to be the most different Resident Evil anyone's seen. They don't even know what's coming, and I'm like, can we just, like, all of us Resident Evil fans are just like, can we please just do the fucking game? Yeah. Can we just do the game? Like, after the success of The Last of Us, how can anyone not see the virtues of doing it like the game? Like, we're showing up. Give it to us the way we want it and we'll be there. But they're like, nah, man, like, let me show you what I can do as a director. I'm gonna bring my spin on it. Hey, Zach, I don't want your spin, buddy. I don't want your spin. I want the Resident Evil that I've wanted to see since 1990 something or other. Like, I'm sorry, but that's the way I feel. Like, cool, do your thing, but do the main one first. Like, okay, give us someone that's gonna do the first game correctly, and then let Zach do his thing too. Like, you know, fine. Just, we're getting the DCU Batman and we're getting the Batman as well. Okay, fine. Give us someone do Resident Evil the way it's supposed to be done. It's there. The whole story's there. Just fucking do that. And like, I don't understand why it's so hard for Hollywood to just get that fucking hint. You know what I mean?
All the movies they've already made have not really followed the games. I mean, I guess the Netflix one is like kind of tries to, even though to me the characters don't look anything like the characters really. And then like all the Paul W.S. Anderson stuff is just like, that's all kind of made up. You know, yeah, some characters they bring in some of those characters, but they're telling stories that are not following the games really. You know,
There's
using
been
the characters.
Three fully separate attempts, right?
I think
there's the whole original series. There was the Netflix series, and then there was the most recent one, Raccoon City or whatever the fuck. That was a whole nother attempt that just came out recently. Yeah. So, and that's not even talking about the CG Resident Evil movies, which were actually pretty good. So it's been, and you know, those followed the games, you know, like, so those were good because they continued those stories, which is also part of why I'm super excited about Resident Evil Requiem, the 9th game, which the trailer finally, you know, it came out like a month ago, and then they added the first bit of the story in a trailer at Gamescom last week. But that is finally going back to Raccoon City. Like the devastated, missile blown up Raccoon City is the central stage for the new Resident Evil game, Resident Evil 9 Requiem. And I, along with many other Resident Evil fans, couldn't be more stoked about it. So like, someone knows the value of the original Resident Evil story, but Hollywood has blinders on. I don't understand. Yeah.
They're trying to overcomplicate it, and when it's something that's like it's all there for you to pick from. And I even like, you know, I'm a fan of the series, but my favorite is Resident Evil 4, and I'm like, that can be a one-off movie. You know, of course you can introduce Leon earlier just like he is in the video games, but that story doesn't really tie to those previous games. You know, you can still do, and I think Resident Evil 4 is like, that could be an amazing, it's almost like a Die Hard kind of story, you know, like going to rescue the president's daughter. Like it's the most basic like action kind of fun that you could have, and it's all there, and it's all there with all of those games that you could pick from. And you know, we never got the Romero version of the, you know, the first game in the mansion, which is, that kind of blows my mind. That didn't happen. I think that could have been a lot of fun if they went that route with George. But yeah, it is interesting to see that that's what Krueger's doing after doing 2, you know, original stories and then jumping into Resident Evil and wanting to fuck with it, I'll say. Really quick.
His own.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, it's not my place to tell him what to do. He's very successful, and I hope it's good. But Tyler responded. He says, I really enjoyed the CG and Bloodlines. Some pretty great gags. Garbage Truck is a banger. Honestly, though, I would have loved to take a crack at some of the CG in that film. Well, you're going to get your time, Tyler. You're going to get your time. Cecil's going to put you to work. Let's see. There's one here. Oh, this is a question here for you, Cecil. Ben Grimm asks, do you find yourself watching movies through a different lens as a filmmaker than before?
Yes. So there are times where the filmmaker saw, like, there's things that pull people out of movies for various reasons, like overly dumb things or like unrealistic lines or bad acting, right? For me, really interesting things will pull me out of the movie because I want to figure out how they did it, or like I imagine what it was like shooting that on set. And so like it'll take me out of the movie for a minute because I'm thinking about those aspects. So people that aren't doing that or attempting to do that don't have that kind of thing. But you know, it's not that I have at the same time, I feel like I can buy into stuff maybe a little bit more than other people, because if I'm into the story and the way it's presented, then I become like really like a huge proponent of, you know, like Strange Darling. I was a massive proponent of that because as a filmmaker and as a film goer, it like blew me away in every aspect. And it was unique and amazing, and the substance, the same thing, you know. And so I think it helps me appreciate films on a perhaps deeper level, but it also pulls me out of films because I think about that stuff while I'm watching them a lot of times. So it's a double-edged sword. Ultimately, I'm glad for it though, because as someone that wants to both write and direct, I'm still able to keep myself in the story space of something if I really just let myself, if I give myself over to it, which as someone that is a pot smoker, it's very easy to do. So
yeah, I would imagine it's got to kind of change things a little bit. And do you find, just a follow up on that question there from Ben, do you find, I guess I kind of know the answer to this, but I'll just ask it just so you can answer it.
Okay.
Do you find that it makes you nicer as a critic, or does it ever make you feel like you have to pull back? Because I know that there are certain people. There's a movie that's in the poll. I asked you guys in the poll what your most anticipated horror for the rest of 2025 is. Sometimes when people enter that sphere of being a filmmaker, they feel like maybe they don't want to kind of shit in that water. But how do you feel about that? Does it ever make you kind of pull back when you're analyzing something and give people a little bit of grace, or are you just like, no, this shit's terrible, like Sweet Revenge, or what was that one we watched, the Hold the Fort?
Yeah, we ripped into
I'm sorry that I mentioned it.
I don't. So that's the thing. Like, I don't have a problem going in on something if they've done some what I consider egregious things behind the camera. I went in pretty hard on Voorhees as a fan film director. I probably shouldn't do that, but I was invested in that project for many years, because it was in the works for many years. And when I did my review of it, one of the comments said, this is more of a film school than a review, because I went over, like, any critique that I had, I explained why it was a critique. So I was like, why are they using this down up perspective on all of these shots? It's used when you're trying to do this or convey this. And then, like, there was another movie that I watched, God, I can't remember, it was a particularly bad one that I went in on. And because at one point they were moving in on the outside of a shed where people were talking, and the camera then started to move back out before they cut into the shed. I'm like, what are you fucking doing? So sometimes if it's particularly egregious, I will go into it, but I will explain why. Like, filmmaking wise, the reason you don't pull back out is because you're trying to pull us into the scene, into the conversation. When you boomerang us out before you cut inside, it's fucking jarring and it's a disconnect. You know what I mean? So, like, I try and explain why it's not working for me from a filmmaker's perspective. So if I do talk poorly about a movie, I try and explain why. That's why in our reviews, a lot of people do good, the bad, and the ugly, or, good, the bad, and the nerdy. In Andre's case, I'm a black film nerd fan. A lot of people do that, variations of that. And I do, as you know, Davey, we do story, overall thoughts, then we do story, acting, effects, filmmaking, production, all of that stuff in separate categories, because that's everything that goes into making a movie, and that's all the stuff that I feel like is worth discussing. So yeah, it's that's kind of the way I look at everything as a hopeful filmmaker.
Well, and if somebody goes into a review and is getting bent out of shape that you're explaining why you feel that way, or if you're even explaining in an educational kind of manner, like, I mean, isn't that, like, as an audience, like, shouldn't we want to be smarter as audience members and learn, like, why certain things work and why certain things don't, instead of things just being a feeling that are indefinable? Like, to me, that's totally fair to be like, I'll explain it in a technical way why this doesn't work. It's very, I don't understand that, but they just want you to say, like, I liked it, I didn't like it.
Exactly. And so I'm I'm old enough to be of the generation that grew up with home video, VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, and the era of special features and directors' commentaries. the heyday of it. If there was a special edition DVD to be had, I fucking had it. I have the Criterion edition of Armageddon. Okay, and like, so I love special features. I've loved that movie. It's a guilty pleasure of mine, and to be honest, the director's commentary on that is one of the best, because it has one of the most candid moments I've ever heard from a director, in Michael Bay of all people, right? Like, at one point when they get away from the ISS just before it explodes, right? The International Space Station, after docking there to refuel or whatever the fuck they had to do, the space station explodes in this massive fireball, and like Michael Bay literally says in the commentary, he's like, a lot of people complain. He's like, yes, I know there's no fire in space. He's like, but it's really cool, and most people don't know that. And like, that's the entirety of it. And it's like, great, you know, like, I love those kinds of insights. And so like, there's something in Hollywood called the rule of cool, where it's like, sometimes the logistics don't matter if it's fucking cool enough. The John Wick is very, very beholden to the rule of cool. But that's fine. Like, if a movie can do the rule of cool well, then fucking have at it. You know what I mean? But it's tough. It's tough to be able to get away with things just because of the rule of cool.
Well, that's like we were talking Jaws earlier. It's the same thing with the ending of Jaws. Like, Spielberg's like, I'm gonna blow this thing up, and they had to remove Peter Benchley from the set because he was getting so fired up about changing the end of the story. Because if you haven't read the book, Jaws, the shark
like that,
and the shark, it is so anticlimactic in the book. The shark is just getting closer to Brody, and as it approaches Brody, he sees it sink further because the barrels and all the damage has finally killed the shark. So the shark dies on its approach to attack Brody. And it's just, that's not very exciting for a movie. And Spielberg says, so he told Peter Benchley, he's like, I've had him for an hour and 55 minutes. I can have him for 1 minute more. You know, that's kind of like his way of thinking. Like, they're going to buy into it because they've loved the whole rest of the film. You know, it's kind of sounds like sort of what Michael Bay's saying there about the explosions in space. Yeah.
Exactly.
If I get to 2K before Halloween, I'm dressing up as the Alpha from 28 years later for a Halloween stream. So if you want to embarrass me, subscribe to the channel. Okay, so 2025 horror films. I put this up to as a poll in the chat, but you know, I can only put 4 movies there in the poll. So Cecil, I guess we can just sort of have an open conversation about, you know, most anticipated horror for the remainder of the year. The options in the chat for the poll here: The Black Phone 2, Shelby Oaks, which is the Stuckman film, Keeper, which is Osgood Perkins' upcoming film. I believe that's November. And then I've got Silent Night, Deadly Night, which is Sweet Revenge's Mike P. Nelson remaking the classic campy Christmas slasher with Rowan Campbell stepping in there. I think there's probably a couple, you know, Conjuring. I know we've got that. There's Good Boy, which looks really interesting to me from a concept standpoint and everything like that. I love a good slow burn kind of supernatural haunted house kind of thing. But you know, what's your most anticipated? And I mean, I guess just any of your thoughts on the remainder of the year, closing out 2025 in horror.
Yeah, I mean, I'll hit this. Doc Mortis probably hit it for me. I think either FNAF 2 or the Black Phone 2 are what I'm most excited about. I loved the Black Phone. I'm a huge Joe Hill fan. Joe Hill, the son of Stephen King, who wrote the original Black Phone story, also was involved in the writing of the Black Phone 2, even though there was no sequel story that he wrote. So because he's involved in the Black Phone 2, I'm like way more on board with it. Also, it looks like in lieu of, you know, in the absence of Freddy Krueger, it looks like they're making that killer a version of Freddy Krueger, because he's killing someone while they're asleep. And Ethan Hawke was amazing in the movie. The masks are the cool fucking, I can't imagine what they're gonna do. Like, obviously there's the version where we see without the lower part, he's all fucked up, like missing his lower jaw almost. So like they're making him a decrepit version. They're bringing back the kids from the originals. So like, I love all of that. Like all of that is like so exciting to me. And same director too, right? Isn't Scott Derrickson coming back for it too?
Yeah.
So like all winning fucking pieces to a puzzle that I loved the first time around. So yeah, I have to say probably most excited about Black Phone 2. FNAF 2 is up there for me because I adore that franchise to death. I was most excited about FNAF the year that it came out, but Blumhouse fucking stuck its Blum dick in it like it does all of its other franchises and just fucked it silly. And I don't like what they've done with a lot of stuff. They fucked their own franchise, Megan, completely raw. It's a really poor way to say that, but like I really don't like what they did with it. And
it's okay, we're casual. Everyone just left the chat. No, I'm just
but FNAF, the whole fort building scene ruined the entire first movie. But the trailer for the second one gives me hope again. Like that's the thing. I get hope from the trailers, and then I get bummed out when they see the actual execution.
You get blummed out.
I get plummed out, exactly. So yeah, I have hopes for it. We'll see. I'm interested in Shelby Oaks just because it's another YouTuber, you know, giving a shot at film, which is what I want to do as well. So if it does well, then it helps pave the way for people like me. So I'm hoping for a positive response. I am worried that it's not going to get as I'm worried that people are going to say what I've heard people say about it, which is that it's just okay. And gotcha. I think it's a lot better in most movies' cases when people either love it or hate it. If you're just kind of okay, you get forgotten a lot quicker.
Yeah, people talk about something that's more divisive. Yeah.
I'm not like, even though I like the monkey, overall, I'm not the biggest Osgood Perkins fan, so I don't care that much about Keeper. And I was much more interested in the Silent Night, Deadly Night remake before I saw Sweet Revenge. So yeah, that's my thoughts on all of the remaining stuff that we talked about.
It does look, I think Silent Night, Deadly Night is looking better from the teaser we saw. You know, the Cineverse people are involved, so it's a totally different like production crew and everything than what they had for Sweet Revenge. So, but yeah, Mike P. Nelson doesn't have the best track record. Let's just be honest. I think Rowan Campbell is a perfect cast for that role because
for Billy,
he already played the brooding thing with Corey Cunningham. So I think it's it's really fitting here. And unrated, it looks like they're really going to let it fly with the with everything in that one. So I think it should be fun, and I'll take a good, fun, bloody Christmas slasher for sure. Really quick before I get into my thoughts on the rest of all that stuff, I just want to jump in. Doc Mortis here, who we've known and loved as Dice Rollin', now has got the new moniker Doc Mortis, is in here. Says, "Oh, before I forget, because I know I mentioned this when I was getting started, I've completed my first semester of college, 4.0 GPA in both classes." Nice. Hell yeah. And Doc is going, correct me if I'm wrong, Doc, but it's performance, right? To be for acting. So really an awesome leap to take to go into that and to go into it with that background, that educated background. That's really, really cool. And congratulations. We like to celebrate people's victories and all that kind of fun stuff here. It's something I believe in. I'm going to stand up on my soapbox now. Yeah, man, Keeper, I am interested because I just love what Oz does with the fucking camera. I don't know what it is. He's just his look. He's got me with his look. And I like I saw that longer trailer that gives you both sides of the story or both people's thoughts. I'm like, another relationship driven horror. After everything I've gone through in the last year of my life, I'm like, oh my God. Like, this is so interesting. The male female perspective on possessiveness in relationships, can I really trust that this person is who they say they are? Can I really give my heart to this person? And then there's just the way Neon does their marketing. Oh my God, they're so good because they just they build that mystery. So they just make you sit there and ask all these questions, and
they're the
answers. Yeah. You want to go to the movie to get the answers, and maybe you're satisfied and maybe you're not. But man, hats off to the marketing team over there. And then I think Shelby Oaks, I'm willing to give it a shot. It looks relatively generic, but maybe there's some surprises there. And I want to see the movie succeed. I just think it would be great for every other content creator that wants to enter the filmmaking realm. So, you know, I'm hoping that it surprises me. And Good Boy, though, at only an hour and 12 minutes, I'm like, wow, that's actually kind of cool. It sounds like they know the length of the story they have to tell, and they're not just going to stretch it out to stretch it out. And very interesting concept of, you know, using a dog in a horror movie like this. And I know everyone's worried that something bad's going to happen to the dog or whatever. It seems like they were very careful with the way they shot this movie. It seems, you know, it was the animal's owner that was like doing all the direction. And I love a good spooky haunted house movie. I don't know what it is. So
supposedly he trained the dog for like 4 years to make the movie. So I'm excited about that as well. I think the conceit is phenomenal. And if it's not Hollywood doing it, then I actually have a lot more faith, because they just put it would be Air Bud Goes to Ghosts, you know, or whatever the fuck. And so, yeah, I think that would be bad. You know, honestly, it just occurred to me, the thing I might be most excited about horror wise in the rest of the year is not a movie, but a TV series. Lest we forget that the It TV series comes this year. And it's the first of 3 seasons. The first of 3 seasons it's already been, you know, renewed for season 2. They said it's a 3-season deal where every season is going to go back a previous 27 years. Which I think is cool, right? Because that's how often it returns. I'm a little worried about it being a little samey to the movies, because again, group of kids dealing with Pennywise, but that's what it is, right? It's only kids that can see him. It's only kids that can fight him. So it would make sense that it's a group of kids having to band together to take on Pennywise. And it kind of, when you think about it, it sort of makes sense in a not only a storytelling, but also a life is cyclical, right? So it would be cyclical if a group of kids has to find a way to deal with Pennywise every 27 years, and it happens like clockwork. You know, it's just the 2 versions we've seen were the same group of kids. They just happen to be grown up, you know, in one of the instances. So, but I love the Bill Skarsgård Pennywise. And the fact that we're getting more of him specifically. I apparently they dropped a picture of what his version of what this version of Pennywise is going to look like. I have not looked at that picture yet, because I kind of want to be surprised. I'll be unable to not react to the next trailer they put out, of course. Too much of a sucker to not do that. So I'm sure I'll get a look at it then. But I love It 2017 and It Chapter 2 so much. Like I really feel like that is I like the Skarsgård Pennywise more than the Tim Curry Pennywise. Much respect to Tim Curry. I just thought Bill's version was a lot scarier. Like the way I put it is Tim Curry was a silly clown that killed kids. Bill Skarsgård is something masquerading as a earthbound clown that kills kids. I think that that's a key difference, and I adore it for that.
Yeah, that is a good point, because I'm sort of for whatever reason it just doesn't grab me, the whole thing. I don't know what it is. I thought the new movie, like I just recently saw Chapter 2, and I thought it was just kind of boring, because it was just like, okay, now he's back again, and he's like shaky and walking towards the camera and scaring them, and then they complain about we need to leave town, and like fuck this, I'm out of here, and then we get another scene where like one of the characters goes off alone, and the same kind of thing happens. I like the first chapter all right, but I think I'm like, it's just not for me. That's all. There's something like certain Stephen King stories like I really dig, you know, stuff like Christine and that kind of stuff, and then other Stephen King like The Long Walk, I'm like, this is like, you know, this is, I'm sure that his story came before it, but this is just a walking version of the Hunger Games with Mark Hamill doing his Simpsons voice. And I'm like, I can just sort of already tell how this story is going to shake out, you know, like, so I don't know. I know that's a me thing. It's a me thing, guys.
Everyone knows that the best Stephen King property is Dreamcatcher. Let's be honest. There's no disputing that.
That's what it is. I liked when he worked with George Romero. It was such a good team up, you know, them doing Creep Show, The Dark Half, stuff like that. It was just like they had a nice collaboration there. And I think The Monkey is pretty damn good as far as like, Stephen King adaptations go. There's always something in the end where it seems like he hasn't quite figured out the end. And the end is like, the end is fine, but everything else leading up to like the first third of The Monkey was friggin' hilarious. And we were talking about the surprising kills, the open the door shotgun to the face. That was pretty surprising too. Like I thought that was pretty damn fun. And Theo James, that guy's American accent, I could listen to that guy narrate any book. That is one of the best voices I've ever heard in my life. I was like, man, I wish I had that guy's voice, and I've got this voice. So if I'm envious, holy shit. Let's see here. I'm going to take a look at the poll. We have 19 votes. What's your most anticipated horror for the remainder of 2025? The Black Phone 2 at 37%, Shelby Oaks at 32%, Keeper at 11%, and Silent Night, Deadly Night at 21%. So some good engagement there and a nice little variety from everyone. Let's see here. Well, we've been going for just over 2 hours. I guess we can sort of wrap things up. Do you want to get into you want to tease your slasher, or do you want to hold off on that?
I mean,
you don't have to.
Not enough time to get deep into it, but I'll just say that it's
are you going to reveal the name?
I mean, I can,
because I just have a banner up for it, but I don't want to put up the name if you're not going to reveal the name. Do you have
the piece of art that Cole made that I sent you? I can send it again.
No, let me check it out here. I think if I have it in my email, I'll be able to bring it up.
Oh, here. I can pull it up. Apparently, I can pull up an image file.
Through StreamYard, you can do that?
That's what it says. Let me see if I can.
Okay.
I should be able to. Let me see. I know where it is. My computer is.
I've got the pitch deck brought up here.
Yeah, you can do.
There we go. Okay.
Oh my god, yeah, my thing is slow.
Let me see here. Let me
yeah,
do this.
If you did the very first page, the cover of the pitch deck, that works.
And I'll probably just have to move us around here. Let me see if I can zoom in here on the image. Will it let me do that? There we go. Is that good just to have that image up there as you talk about it? All right, folks.
Fine. So yeah, my slasher is called Bracer, and it's the long and short of it is it's kind of a mix of Friday the 13th and Saw, after a fashion, but my slasher has a ethos to him that most slashers don't have. Like there's actually a reason for him being the way that he is, and I don't know. I mean, I can give the quick pitch, but I don't know if it's giving too much away or if this is enough.
Whatever you feel comfortable with. Whatever you feel comfortable with. It is copy the script and everything. You got it registered, so this is nothing that anyone can take away, or anything like that. So guys in the chat, quit trying to steal Cecil's idea. Just stop.
But yeah, basically the idea is, as a kid, his mom had a variation of Munchausen by proxy, which is the thing where if you saw The Sixth Sense, the little girl that was kept sick by her mother until she died, that was Munchausen by proxy. So this is a slight variation where instead of poison, she would invent or cause physical maladies that would necessitate her taking him to the doctor and having him put in correctional braces. So essentially he's got arm braces, leg braces, and then a chest brace connected to a halo, and he's a 10-year-old kid, and something happens, an accident happens, and he's caught in a fire, and as his flesh melts, the braces sink in and sort of fuse with his muscle tissue, and many years later, a group of we cut to black essentially as this kid is burning alive. And we go to 20 years later, where a group of college students are assembling to make their first independent film, a shockumentary, so to speak, where a local steel mill has had people disappearing in screams for many, many years. And it turns out it's not a ghost haunting the steel mill, but rather it is Bracer. And because the braces fused with his muscle tissue, it also stimulated his muscle growth. So he's essentially become this huge hulking dude with a metal exoskeleton. And his way of killing people is that he invents correctional braces to help his victims, the way his mother helped him growing up. So because of the way he was treated and raised, he is twisted in the brain, and he thinks he's helping people with his torturous correctional braces that he creates. And every victim gets an entirely different correctional brace. So yeah, that's kind of the long and short of Bracer.
Damn.
So the script is
you're good at that pitch. You're good at that pitch. You got it all.
Yeah, I have one more rewrite to do on the script because I want to punch up the characters a bit more. But otherwise, it's all ready. The pitch deck is right there. We don't need to go through it. But that is the slasher that I'm going to be fundraising for. And as you can see, cuts a pretty mean silhouette right out of the gate. So yeah, it's we're excited about it for sure. Or I'm excited about it anyway.
Yeah, no, it's I think it's a fantastic idea. Very original with some of these things, like just little hints of things we're familiar with, but it is this in this day and age, people ask like, oh, how can we, where are the original ideas? Or it's so tough to think of something unique. And I think that's kind of the trick of it all. But I think you've definitely got that with Bracer. Yeah, I'm very, very excited.
And the whole thing is,
I want to see this.
He's less of a stalker and more of a bull in a china shop. That's pretty much the way I look at him. While also being, kind of sympathetic after a fashion. You know what I mean? So
sure.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that people would dig on this. So is Bracer online now or later? No, it's not. I mean, it's not even made yet. This is just the rough of the idea. And I haven't really even gone that much in depth online before, so you guys are the only ones that know about that so far. So keep it under your hats. But yeah, that's the long and short of it, and that's why I think it would be a really cool, well-received slasher. It's there's actually a reason as to why he does the things that he does. So yeah, and it's leaning into I'll bring us back here. It's leaning into the more kind of, there is this wave of just like pushing a little bit more of the extreme, the body horror. And then also I think people are more like primed and ready for something that's going to be a little tougher, especially with stuff like Terrifier. It's like, I don't expect that this would be like Terrifier levels of lingering on stuff or whatever, but I think that it's, grown the audience. Well, I've written it.
It's not my story.
It's honestly, Terrifier 3's success is part of why we feel like we can get it, because with all the gags that I have, and especially the Act 3 set piece, the gore would be necessary, and it would not. Part of the pitch deck is that we do not plan to cut away from anything. Like we are going to revel in it like pigs and shit. Not quite to the level that Terrifier does, but it's going. If you basically gave Terrifier the restraint time wise of a Hollywood feature, that'll be more in line. Like it'll be as aggressive as Terrifier, but it'll be actually paced correctly.
Yeah, instead of clocking in at like 2 hours 15,
every kill doesn't need to be 15 minutes of cutting someone up. You know what I mean? Like
there's a sweet there's a sweet spot with horror. I mean, even if you want to make a horror movie that's a little longer, like 140 to 150, I think is like a nice sweet spot if you want it to be a little longer. for whatever reason, an hour 40 to me is just like perfect. I don't know what it is, but I'm a weirdo about all that kind of stuff. Yeah, dude, Bracer, super. This is one of the ideas that I've been hearing about almost since the first time I've hung out with Cecil. And one thing that you guys should know about Cecil is when you hang out with him, you're going to hear a lot of his ideas because he is an idea man. So even though we've just talked about a couple things here, there's all these irons in the fire over there at the Horror Show channel and with Cecil personally. It's one of the things I love about being buddies with Cecil, and anytime we hang out, it's just very invigorating. There's never a dull moment in the conversation.
I just don't shut up. That's my problem.
Like, so let me tell you about my next idea. We got Pumpkin King has entered the chat, one of our newest channel members and community members here. Hope you are doing well, Pumpkin King. Pumpkin King truly is the king of the chat. Just you wait and see. Thank you so much for joining us. We're kind of rounding everything out, Pumpkin King, but you can always scrub on back if you want to listen to the conversation. Yeah, there we go. Tyler knows all about it. Tyler probably gets texts that are from all times of day from Cecil about ideas and stuff.
Tyler and I are going back and forth on a lot of stuff, actually. Tyler is I had to consult. I had a 2-hour meeting with Tyler before I wrote the third act of the new fan film that I alluded to, because I needed to know exactly what we could pull off with Tyler's help. So very integral to everything. But yeah, Tyler and I talk about a lot of stuff. Like Tyler and I have ideas for like 3 different projects just between us. There's something involving a very well loved and currently very popular nostalgic property. There's something with a horror figure that I've wanted to do for a very long time, and then there's a new in our hopefully ongoing series of creature mini shorts. So yeah, Tyler and I have lots of stuff that we're trying to get going on, which I love. I adore Tyler, and I couldn't be more grateful that Tyler reached out during the DNN post process. And even though it was too late for us to utilize his skills on that, my God, he's such a talented dude, and I can't wait to work get any of these things going with him. He helped with the creature short that we put on the channel a few months ago, Wake Up Call. If you guys want to see Tyler's work, he made an outstanding creature for a looping horror short that we put out a few months ago. Check that out.
Yeah, very talented guy. Yeah, Tyler is a total badass. I'm very excited about that project that you're being very tight-lipped about. But guys, like Cecil said, there's something in the background there that is a little bit of a hint, but there's so much in the background. Which item is it? Which franchise or property is it? You'll just have to wait and see, but it is very exciting. This is the 3rd time I've spotted a kitty in the background. Pumpkin King drops a $9.99 super chat, says, "What's up, Davey? My dude." I am your dude, Pumpkin King. You don't have to put a question mark there. I am absolutely your dude. So what's up, Pumpkin King, is Cecil must have been, I don't know, bored. There's some reason why Cecil reached out to me today to be like, "Hey, do you want to stream, or is it your day off?" And I was like, it's my day off, but I'm
jealous of how much you're getting done on the streaming side of things. I'm like, fuck, I need to get on lives more like Davey is. I'm like, let me see what this fucker. I asked Robert, because Robert's over hanging out. I was like, does Davey? I was like, is Davey have a stream going tonight already? And so I like literally had to check. And so that's why I've phrased in my message to you. I was like, hey man, do you want to stream tonight, or is it your day off? Because I figured you might be taking a day off, but you were. It's funny too, because you're like, yeah, it's my day off, and then like 10 minutes later, you're like, I'm thinking about it, and like, what you have in mind? I'm like, oh, this dude's got the bug bad, man.
I got the bug, and it is really tough to say no to you. It's like, I'm like, so Cecil's done so much for me. How can I say no to just getting on and bullshitting? Like, it's there's nothing taxing about it. I feel
like you have to do that in the future, though. Like, I appreciate the thought.
But and it's great though that we got to go like later, right? Because I know that it can get really saturated on the weekends, but going 11 Eastern is like, that's a great time. And credit to everybody hanging out in the chat on both channels. Like, I feel like you guys have been so supportive, when the channel only had 400 subscribers, and here we are marching to 1,700. You guys were supportive when I was going through all the crazy stuff in my personal life. And you guys, every time I go live, it seems like we have a great crew that shows up, because not only do you guys enjoy whatever discussion topics come up here, but the awesome thing is you guys like really love hanging out with each other. I think that's something that's really special about this community, and is pretty unique as far as social media goes, to where you can hop in a chat and people are friendly with each other, and there's not any sort of weirdness. So I'm really grateful to everything the community brings. And like I say, I think of it as like it's our channel. I'm just the MC. I'm the one like hosting the thing, but like it's our channel, guys. And you know, maybe I'll win that. I'm Cecil, I don't know if I told you I got nominated for a best live streamer award from the
I did see that. Yeah, congratulations. So, I voted for the other guys.
Yeah, me too. I had no idea. Sometimes I'm like, how do these people find me? I don't know. It's very flattering and very humbling and all that stuff. And guys, if the channel happens to win that award, it's something that I'm going to share with you guys for sure, and celebrate with you guys. And holy shit, this is why Pumpkin King is the king. $49.99 super chat says, righty on, brother. Happy Saturday night. Happy Saturday to you as well, Pumpkin King. What do you get into on the weekends, man? I know you must have, I would imagine you're pretty
Davey,
busy
why
Monday
do you even
through
ask?
Friday.
He's busy stealing Christmas. What are you talking about? That's what he does.
I love the icon though. Pumpkin King, I hope that the super chats don't take away from the money you could spend at Spirit Halloween, but I'm very, very thankful for them. And seriously, maybe I should start some sort of cameo thing, and I'm just going to send a bunch of videos to Pumpkin King, because now I have your email, dude. So you're in trouble now. Thank you so much. Yeah, you guys are amazing. Yeah, guys, we can wrap it up here. We're about 2.5 hours. It goes by so quick. And I know like when Cecil and I get talking, it can just get kind of crazy. I appreciate everyone sticking with us in the chat and engaging with the live polls, and engaging with Cecil and I, and hearing us give each other shit and chit chat with you guys. These do count towards the super chat goal. Oh, sorry, the goal did end. So, but you know what? I saw some come through over from Cecil's side, which is great. I love seeing the support get spread around. So guys, even though we didn't officially reach the 10 over here, with everything that Pumpkin Kings contributed, and then with the super chats that were coming over from the horror show channel, we will do a watch party next week for you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and allow it. All right.
Should we do the Shallows, or do you have something else lined up?
I don't have anything lined up. So I was going to ask the folks in a poll on the channel what they want to do, but we could absolutely do the Shallows. What I want to do though, is I do want to watch it first. Cause if I do a first time watch on a watch party, I'm going to be like so distracted. Like I won't get to like watch the movie. So it would be fun for me to watch it and then jump in with you and just be able to like re-experience it. I did that with Sleepaway Camp last week. I had never seen Sleepaway Camp. So I watched it the day of.
Seeing
and then
your reaction to that end though would have been key.
But I've seen the end. That's the thing.
Okay,
is like everyone knows the end of sleep. You know, it's one of those things with Sleepaway Camp. You can't avoid. You know.
Well, let me say this. Let me say this regarding the Shallows. There's not a lot of dialogue for you to miss out on to pay attention to. Like there's very little, as a matter of fact. So I feel like if any movie you could get away with a first time watch, I feel like the Shallows could be it. Like, let's ask the chat real quick. Anyone that's familiar with the Shallows, yeah. Should Davey pre-watch, or is it okay for a first-time watch, considering there's not a lot of dialogue that he needs to pay attention to?
Okay.
I personally think this is a movie you'd be okay first-time watching. You won't miss anything, and your reaction would be kind of fun to see, considering.
Okay. It's going to be really easy. A yes or no.
I agree with
for everyone.
Cecil. Watch Raw with us. Yeah.
Watch Raw. Raw dog it. We're going to raw dog the Shallows. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Who's in the Shallows? Is that the one with Blake Lively?
Blake Lively. Yeah.
Okay.
Ryan Reynolds.
Blake Lively wet on a rock for an hour and however many minutes. Okay.
Pretty peak Blake Lively too. I got to be honest with you. What I love about the Shallows, speaking of your, to your point about filmmaking and shot selection, it is gorgeous. Like it's all shot in this beautiful little cove that is the most picturesque place you could ask to shoot a movie. So it is beautiful to behold. First time.
Okay. All right. JG's never seen it, so you can watch it with
Oh,
us,
there you
first
go.
timer.
Damn, 7 votes and it's 100% first time.
Yeah. Okay. You've sold me on it since it's not dialogue heavy. Okay. This should be pretty fun. Yeah. Cecil and I will figure out what night works for us. I think I have a work meeting Wednesday night, Monday. Oh my gosh, guys. I think I've said this on a previous stream, but Cecil, I'm going to back Batman and Batman Returns in the Dolby Theater on Monday night.
Ooh.
7 and 10 p.m. out here.
Wow, okay.
Yes.
That could be pretty cool. I saw Batman 89 was one of the first movies I ever saw in the theater. And I would have been 9 at the time, or 8, and it was incredible still.
Yeah. Batman 89. My sister took me to that movie. It was a beautiful day. It's very rare that Juneau is like sunny and warm. It was probably mid 70s. It was July, right? Mid to end July when that movie came out, or something like that, or June. Beautiful day in Juneau. My sister Melanie got me a vanilla Charleston chew and a tube of sweet tarts. Those were like my staples moving forward after that. Watching Batman 89 in the theater changed. I loved movies before that, but that made me want to be an actor. I wrote a letter to Jack Nicholson. When we got that movie on VHS, I watched it every day. So yeah, to me, the big selling point, it would be cool to see it in the theater again, but the fact that they've upped the sound to the Dolby, which is my favorite way to experience movies in the theater anyways, because I'm such a sound guy. Yeah, that's gonna be incredible.
Can I give you a possibly harrowing opinion, like a possible hot take? The Batman movie is why Prince is cool to me.
For a whole generation, right?
Yeah. I could give a shit about Purple Rain. I do like When Doves Cry, but I could give a shit about anything more than Party Time or Bat Dance or Party Man. Party Man.
And I think when it comes to Prince, I appreciate his music more as an adult, because when I go back and listen to his catalog, I'm like, this guy just did whatever genre he wanted. He's not really nailed down. Yes, he's a pop star, but he did funk, rock, ballads. He just I feel the same way about bands like Queen. They just did whatever the fuck they wanted, and that's why they're so celebrated and so beloved. But yeah, certainly I think the very first time that Prince was on my radar was because of Batman 89. Here's my hot take. Prince is so effeminate that he becomes masculine again. He goes full circle.
Goes all the way around.
Masculine, bomb ass dude, because he plays that soft side so well. But there's just, dude, the guy was a master of whatever 11 or 12 instruments. There's a proficiency test you can take to where you're you've mastered the instrument. The dude, he was just, oh my God, I could do a whole stream about Prince. He used to sit down and show the drummers how to play the grooves because they weren't playing. The professional drummer wasn't playing the groove right.
Truly the only person in history that in any room was both the softest and hardest man, of anyone in there. Both the softest and most masculine. It's crazy.
Yeah. There would be no indecent proposal with Prince. You can just go ahead and have whatever lady I'm with, whatever, dude. I'm not even going to try. I'm just going to be thankful that I was that close to greatness. Can I watch? Rest in peace, of course. All the killer content. Welcome on in, all the killer content. Dropping a $19.99. Says happy Saturday, Davey. Wow. What really blows me away with you guys dropping these big super chats is all you want to say is happy Saturday, or sometimes Pumpkin King is remember to like and subscribe. You're amazing. Thank you so much, all the killer content. Really appreciate you jumping in with the $19.99 here at the close. Now I feel like I need to do another live stream in 10 minutes and just go on extra just to earn that. But you guys are amazing. August has been the best month as far as channel growth and views and super chats and just all the support in every single way. So God, thank you guys so much. I really do appreciate it. It's when I started this journey 2 years ago, I wanted to achieve so much. I didn't think that all of the benefits, getting to know people and getting to know this community would be as impactful as it really is. So thank you guys so much. I don't even know what to say. Really appreciate it. Really appreciated all the killer content. Okay, Cecil, I've kept you hostage on my day
Not at all.
off. Wasn't
Not
even
at
supposed
all.
to be in today.
Yeah, I'm the one that put the gun to your head.
Yeah, I'm happy you did. I'm happy you did, and I'm sure it looks like everyone that's hanging out. We got 34 people watching right now, so we've still got that captive audience, as we say. Good night to everyone on this Saturday evening or very early Sunday morning for the East Coast folk. I think I'd asked you what you have coming up at the beginning of the stream, but just for everyone that's here now, what do you got going on the channel that's going to be dropping here shortly?
I mean, yeah, the most imminent things coming are reviews of upcoming horror movies. So we have screenings for Him coming up. We have a screening for The Road, or what is it? The Road movie.
The Long Walk.
King. The Long Walk. That's the one.
Yeah.
And then also The Conjuring. So we've got screenings for The Long Walk and The Conjuring, not this coming week, but the following week. And then I think the week after that or 2 weeks after that, we're doing Him, you and I. So yeah, we've got those coming up. Those will be reviews on the channel. Outside of that, I'm working on doing more coverage for my TikTok, which is, if you're interested in branded horror comic books, my Horror Show Cecil TikTok page is covering all branded horror comics. So any horror movie with comics associated, I'm covering it on the TikTok. So I actually am about to cover Tremors issue 4, which has 3 of my stories in it. I'm going to be covering the After Earth issue. Yes, there was a comic associated with that shitty Will Smith and Son movie. There's a 3-issue Hatchet series that I haven't covered yet. There's 2 Alien series, including Alien Paradiso and Alien versus Avengers. There's the Predator versus Spider-Man series that I'm going to be covering soon. And the big thing I'm gearing up for is I am going to be between November 26th and December 31st, when the Stranger Things final season starts airing on the 26th and finishes airing on the 31st. I am going to have one TikTok every single day covering every single Stranger Things tie-in comic book there are, which is 58 issues. Wow. It's 22 different series across 58 issues. So I'm going to be covering every single Stranger Things comic while the final season is airing. So very excited about that. So if you're interested, check out TikTok Horror Show Cecil for all that coverage. There's dozens of horror properties on there already. All Freddy comics, all Jason comics, even all Michael Myers comics I have covered. So
oh wow, the walking comic book. And you just recently, we had covered the news story about that Event Horizon prequel.
Yes, I read the Event Horizon.
Issue.
Yeah, so the first issue is something I'm going to be covering too. Normally, I wait until a whole series is done, but after reading the first issue, I think I want to cover that issue by issue because it's really fucking cool. It ties into the movie. Like, it starts off with Dr. Weir. It shows Dr. Weir like finding his wife after she commits suicide. Like it has all of that stuff, and then it also flashes forward to the crew of the Event Horizon before they make their, like, the issue 1 ends with them doing their first jump. So like we're about to see all the fucking craziness that happens. So I am super pumped. So yeah, I'll be covering that. That issue will go up hopefully. I think the next run of comics is going to go up in September. So and then the Stranger Things stuff will go up in November. So yeah.
Hell yeah. And then guys, what I've got coming up here tomorrow night, we're doing a members only stream. So all of our members, just make sure you've got, I would imagine you probably have the notification bell. Hopefully you get a notification as a member, just, you know, when those lives are. And what you guys had voted for the stream was a like a hidden gem watch party and commentary. So you know, I don't know if this is considered a hidden gem, but I was thinking it would be really fun to watch Blood and Black Lace with you guys, the 1964 Mario Bava Giallo movie, which I've only seen once, but I thought it was so beautiful, and I just I thought it would be fun to watch something low key, but maybe once we hop on the stream, I'll have a chat with you guys and see what you guys want to do. But just one of the weekly Sunday streams for membership. It's one of the cool things about being a member here. And then coming up next week, God, I don't even know. We're gonna do the Shallows. It's gonna be a first time reaction for me, first time watch for the Shallows. So we'll figure out what day that's gonna be, and then you guys know what it's like. I mean, I'm always just randomly going live, and that poll closed with 15 votes. 100% of people want me to watch it for the first time. So
damn, that's pretty definitive.
So we'll be doing that for sure. And then, yeah, guys, I'm working on some fun pre-recorded stuff too. So I'm starting a series called How to Make It Better. And then I'm going to start a series. Go ahead, Cecil, what you got?
I was going to say there's something else that you're going to be a part of too. I am not long away. I think in September I want to launch the Knight Rider. And you're going to be my first guest on that, so we can develop that. It sounds like you're developing your own zombie thing, so maybe we can do something else, which is fine, because zombie stuff has never been my favorite anyway. Doing something with you I would have done, but if we don't have to, we can do something else. So yeah, that's going to be a stream where we basically write a horror short with the audience, from starting with idea generation and brainstorming to outline to scripting to if it works out, actually making it. So yeah, that's a series we're going to be doing, and Davey's going to be jumping on as my first guest on that. So sorry to interrupt, but I just agreed.
No, you're cool, and that's why you guys need to, if you're not already, you need to click that link in the description and subscribe over there at the Horror Show channel. There's a whole bunch of great content going on, and if you want to get a little extra dose of Davey from time to time, I will be going to watch him with Cecil. So I do reviews over there on the Horror Show channel. So and then we're going to be doing the Knight Rider, and that's going to be really fun. I love the audience engagement. I know that you guys love the audience engagement, so come on over, help us write some stories. And how cool would it be to see one of these stories turned into something, and have your name on it and have some sort of part that you played in it? Would be really cool. And Pumpkin King is keeping things very exciting with another $19.99. Says keep it coming, Davey. Well, we are wrapping up. I swear, I know this is like the whatever they call it, the Midwest goodbye, where it just takes forever.
Lord of the Rings, so dreams endings.
There you go. Yep, Return of the King ending. So yeah, the How to Make It Better is going to be a pre-recorded series. Guys, I'm off of reviews over on my channel. It just seems like you guys aren't really interested in that stuff. So we cover news over here. I'm still going to be doing YouTube shorts out of the theater reactions. So that'll be my kind of replacement for reviews. And then of course you'll get reviews over on the Horror Show channel. But How to Make It Better is going to be, I'm going to take movies that I like, but that I think could use some tweaking. So we're going to start with the David Gordon Green trilogy of Halloween. And then I'm actually starting another series that has nothing to do with spooky season, but I've got this idea of how to fix Hollywood. And I've got about 5 episodes of that. Just some ideas, and maybe I'll have some guests on those pre-recorded episodes as well. But yeah, I think that's all I got for my pitch, for my shillin' and all that stuff. Remember to vote for me for best live streamer on the Sacred Crypt Awards. That would be awesome if we could win that together. And before we go, I'm going to run through the super chats and all that fun stuff, because I like to put another spotlight on that. Mark from Tales from the Shelf gave a $1.99er. Erica with a $5er. Tyler Adams over on the Horror Show channel dropped a $4.99. Gaz Hearsome with a New Zealand $3.49. That is so cool. I want to go there so bad. One of my favorite bands called the Beths are from New Zealand. I'm seeing them here in Phoenix in November. I am pumped. Thank you so much, Gaz. Tyler dropped another $1.99 there over on the Horror Show channel. Pumpkin King with a $9.99. Pumpkin King with a $49.99. All the killer content with a $19.99, and Pumpkin King with another $19.99. Holy shit, you guys are amazing. And we got some kitty cat love there at the end. So I think that's there you go, Pumpkin King showing some love for the kitty. And yes, guys, like and subscribe to the Davey Deathray channel if you haven't already. And of course, over there at the Horror Show channel, even though they have horror in the title, don't let YouTube push them to the side. It's amazing content over there. You guys are amazing. I said amazing twice in a row, so drink every time I say amazing. By the way, if you're 18 days here no alcohol, feeling
Nice.
great. Got to rocket up my, nether regions.
You got
But
me,
yeah,
Dave.
guys, there you go. Yeah, even Leanna was saying earlier, she's like 0 days for me, Davey. Sorry. I'm like, Leanna, I can tell you've had a couple. There was a love fest there earlier on in the chat. It was a beautiful thing. Really appreciate the Patreon members over here on the Davey Deathray channel, as well as the Horror Show channel. It's so awesome the way you guys support us by showing up to the chat, but then also going that extra mile. The YouTube channel members, you guys are incredible. And of course, the group of Death Squad mods that keep everything rocking and rolling. And all hail to the king, to the Pumpkin King, and everyone else for dropping those sweet, sweet super chats. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for us. Let me make sure I'm pointing the right way. He's been Cecil Laird, and I've been and will continue being Davey Deathray. Stay scared. Take care.